Hey folks, welcome back to Chris Wyatt Africa on the Indaba Africa channel here on YouTube. I see that my camera's already dragging a little bit there. That was pretty fast. Welcome in. This is supposed to be, boy, it's warm in here. Man, it's got 1,000 degrees in here. But then I was just shoveling snow again, so that might be the reason why. Anyway, welcome. Thanks for tuning in, and apologies for the camera. I'm going to have to switch to the camera. This is crazy. I do not like this. Why is it doing that? There we go. It looks like it's a little bit better. But let me just check my resources. No, not a resource issue, just a camera thing. Anyway, folks, as I was about to say, I'm going to switch anyway because I just don't trust Logitech anymore. They just have failed me too often. The camera's fine, but the software is garbage. So let me start a new meeting here in Zoom, and I'll go with that. Give me just a second here, folks, and I'll be right back up with Zoom. You'll see me back on the camera. Sorry about that. And here we go. This will make it easier actually to do the stream. Although, there we go. All right. Should pop up any second now. Any second now. Any second now. What the hell? Oh, I know why. Because I've got the camera on still. Come on, hero. There we go. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back. No, the SN9 mission is not launched yet. We're waiting for it to take off right now. Hey, Teresa, good to see you there. Has anybody left on SpaceX? No, SpaceX Starship SN9 has not gone anywhere. Hey, Erica. Mike Vaughn. Nope, bottle store is open just in time. There you go. Excellent. Etienne Broderick, good to see you again. Well, let's get back to, let me put this in the background. See, this is going to work because, wow, it's not going to work very well because I can't put this in the background and resize this window. Maybe I can do something else. Let me try this. Let me see. I created another window the other day. Let me see if that does the trick. PowerPoint display. There you go. That'll work. Okay, there you go. That'll work for now, and then I'll switch it around when it's time. There you have the SN9 and the SN10 sitting side by side. One of them will launch today. The other is for the future, but that's what you see up there just above me on the screen there, folks. Good evening, Etienne and Marino. Welcome to you. Moya Rodriguez, good evening. So we're waiting for a Starship SN9 flight test. This is supposed to be a 10-kilometer test and then a successful landing. So you might be wondering, folks, is there a lot of fuel in that aircraft? No, there's not. There's not. Just enough for safety precautions and enough to ensure that it gets back to the ground. But as we saw with the SN8 when it blew up on reentry, which was pretty cool. That was awesome, wasn't it? Did you guys enjoy that stream? I really enjoyed that stream when the SN8 went up and it rotated and it came back down and exploded on landing. That was pretty cool. But there wasn't much fuel because they'd expended most of its fuel in order to land. So this time for SN9, the attempt is to go up and land successfully. Apparently, when they blew up, they violated the FAA's restrictions on what they could and couldn't do. Yeah, it was pretty incredible stuff. And Marie says in 4 or 5 days, she'll be moving to her castle. There you go. Congratulations. Dane Abel said, you love the content and then you disappeared. Why did you take your message back? Thank you for sharing that, Dane Absol, I saw you there, but you can comment. You're welcome to comment. Everyone's welcome to comment as long as they're not trolls. Please feel free to join the conversation. If you have different views, feel free to share them as long as they're not troublesome. Anyway, there you go, folks. That is Starship 9 test flight. That's what we're waiting on right now. Oh, you had a spelling error. Okay, well, some people disappear. It did fall to smithereens. That was pretty cool. Actually, you know, Larsala said I should make memes or make little short clips and put on TikTok and other platforms like Instagram. Maybe I should. Like, for instance, when I did that, you know, when it came up and it landed, oh, it blew up. That would be a pretty cool one. Let me spell it correctly. Okay, cool. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, folks. It's a lot larger audience than I anticipated for this at the moment. Usually our space audience gets maybe 20 to 40, sometimes a little bit larger. Let's give a prediction of 100% it will stick the landing. I would say that it's 60% that they'll stick the landing successfully. I would also say, now see, Starship 10 is on the left. Starship 9 is on the right. You see a little silver tower there in between, if you can see it on that small part of the image there. The one between the two rockets is a test module that's for later. Starship 9, SN9 is on the right. That's the one that's supposed to launch today. We're still waiting. No updates on when it's going to happen. It's now 1:05 Central Time, Texas. By the way, for those of you who don't know, Sarko says 75%. Your odds are probably more accurate. I'm just going to be a little pessimistic and say 60%. Yeah, but it's only flying later tonight. Going to take a while. Yeah, well, I did promise this stream, so I thought we'd come up and talk about the stream. As of early this morning, the SpaceX team had planned to attempt a high-altitude test flight of Starship serial number 9. This is the second high-altitude suborbital flight test of a Starship prototype from their Cameron County, Texas site. That's Boca Chica. By the way, folks, this is literally barely in America. I mean, you go a mile south, you're in Mexico. That's how far down the coast they are. I guess they want to minimize damage on U.S. soil if this thing went bad. Let it land in Mexico. Oh, look at the pleasure boats out there. People out there in water trying to get be part of this. But it's only flying later tonight. Yep. Anyway, so this is from the Boca Chica test site in South Texas, I should say, just below Padre Island, ladies and gentlemen. That's a famous beach-going spring break destination, Padre Island there in Texas. This is very close to it, within a mile or so. So Padre Island is just north of this location, and there you have it. That's the Boca Chica facility that SpaceX runs in Texas. Not surprising that Elon Musk has put SpaceX in Texas. Of course, the history of aerospace and space travel and flight and launches and such closely tied with Houston ever since Lyndon Baines Johnson became president. And so that's one reason. But the other reason is Texas, also known for technology companies. Whoa, birds flying by there, kind of distracting. You can see the heat. Look at the heat roiling there. You probably can't see it on your screen, but I can't see it on mine. There's a lot of shimmering of heat. And here we are with snow outside. I shoveled for the fourth time in less than 24 hours, just a short while ago, with a new shovel. By the way, the shovel is too short, but it's the only one available in the local stores. And so I used it, but that's going to be tough. I can't use that going forward because I can't bend over all the time like that. It's too short a handle. For dwarves, it'll work great, but it doesn't work so well for me. Anyway, thanks to the 46 people currently tuned in to the program. Appreciate you being here. Not staying long, just popping in to say hi. Hi, Laura. Welcome. Pleasure to see you. How's the back? Is it okay? Is it recovering or is it still wrenched? Anyway, we are waiting for that SpaceX launch. What I'll do is we won't leave it up there the whole time, but we'll take that down a little bit. So the SN9, if the launch is going to go during this stream, which I don't think it's going to happen, then I'll hold on to launch. If not, I'll break at about the bottom of the hour so we can prep for the next stream, which is the Night Owls edition. We call SN9 Eileen. Eileen must fly. Okay. Why is it Eileen? You got a buffer? No, we seem to be doing fine on this end. Let me take a look here, folks. Let me see what I got here on my tablet, if I can actually watch this with any decency here. Just get back there. Okay. Yeah, there it is. Okay, how we doing? Oh, I have an ad. I have to watch an ad. These YouTubers and their ads. Yikes, come on, stop the ad. There we go. Skip the ad. Oh, it's not buffering, but it is dragging. You're right. It is definitely dragging. Well, let me turn off that for the meantime. Maybe that'll help. Let's see what happens there. Wow, that is definitely frozen. That does not look good. Wow. What's the deal here? Sorry, folks. Stick with me. It's definitely frozen. I can see that. Just a moment here. I can't really see the screen from that far away to read it. Yeah, I'm frozen. I see that. Okay, now I'm moving again. This is crazy. This computer cannot be gone soon enough, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, the problem is that all my resources are sucked up here. So, yep. Okay, let's see if that helps a little bit. Wow. God, it is like an oven in this place. I am cooking like an oven here. Oh, I just lost my resources screen, so that's crazy. Let me get that back. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, folks. I do appreciate you being here. Right now, the launch is not taking place at this moment. It was supposed to have occurred about an hour or a half hour ago, something like that. So we're still waiting to see what's going on. But that image I showed you a few minutes ago was from NASA Spaceflight, which is a website that has 274,000 subscribers on YouTube. So anyway, so in the meantime, let me get back to it. 100% nails the landing, 75% doesn't quite stick the landing, 50%. Oh, that's a lot of equivocating there, Vutsarko. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So they're going to, it's a high altitude test flight of Starship serial number 9. It will be powered through the ascent by 3 Raptor engines, each of which is shuts down in sequence prior to the vehicle reaching apogee. So it gets up to the point, and they shut down 1, 2, 3. That's about 10 kilometers in altitude. That's the plan. And then it'll perform a propellant transition to the internal header tanks, which hold the landing propellant, and before reorienting itself for reentry and a controlled aerodynamic descent. That's the plan anyway. Yeah, it will descend under active aerodynamic control accomplished by independent movement of 2 forward and 2 aft flaps on the vehicle. All 4 flaps are actuated by an onboard flight computer. Hopefully it's not running Microsoft Windows like I am. To control Starship's attitude during flight and enable precise landing at the intended location. Now, the Raptor engines will then reignite as the vehicle attempts to landing a flip maneuver immediately before touching down a launching pad or landing pad adjacent to the launch mount. We saw what happened last time, and I think that's why people are tuning in. The FAA has cleared the launch, Dane. That's correct. They were angry about the SpaceX company violating their permit the last time when they blew up the SN8. Apparently that annoyed FAA, and so they lost their permit and thought they had it for the previous launch. So we're back in the launch window now, folks. The weather looks fantastic there in South Texas, just below Padre Island at the Boca Chica launch site. And we see, I saw when I had up on the screen there, the SN9, the SA-10 were both up on the screen. And once we get any more indication of what's going to happen, we'll get back to that, folks. But for the moment there, 55 currently watching the stream. Thanks a lot for tuning in, folks. Now let me continue with this. So this controlled aerodynamic descent with the flaps and the vertical landing capability, combined with in-space refilling, are critical to landing Starship at destinations across the solar system where prepared surfaces runways do not exist. That's the reason for these technological developments, so they can do that in-flight refueling in space and the vertical landing capability, which is something that we haven't done with rockets in the past, except for small-scale ones. So this is pretty interesting. I remember watching old footage of the V1s and the V2s. They also landed. They would take off, they'd start to fall apart, and they'd fall back down and blow up. When they first started, the Germans, the Nazi V1, V2 programs, pretty interesting footage of those things. I'm sure that was highly classified at the time that it came out. But yeah, there you go, folks. So where are we at here now? What else I was thinking? So this capability also enables them to fully reuse the transportation system designed to carry both crew and cargo on long-duration interplanetary flights and help humanity return to the moon, travel to Mars and beyond, perhaps out to Enceladus one day. Wouldn't that be something, ladies and gentlemen? Can you imagine traveling to Enceladus on a space flight? That would just be unbelievably cool. Can't imagine that. You would see it coming for ages because it's the brightest thing in the solar system. Enceladus, of course, is completely encased in ice, and Enceladus reflects virtually all light coming back from the sun. Even though it's so distant from the sun, it is a very bright object. So that would be so cool to see on a space flight. Can you imagine that? Flying a Falcon 9 Crew Dragon mission to Enceladus. Wow, that would be something else. Yep. Anyway, the live feed we're waiting on from SpaceX. That was from another provider. So when SpaceX gets it up, we'll go from there. The problem I run into, folks, is when I take a YouTube feed and feed it through my stream and back to YouTube, it gets a little wonky. The SpaceX might be a little bit better because it's a direct web feed and just waiting for them to come up. Plus, they have a much better instrument panel, and it's really cool. But SpaceX is not live. They have not gone live. So we have to wait for SpaceX to come up before we can actually switch to that. In the meantime, I'm just keeping this one in the background so I can see what's going on. In fact, what I'll do to free up some resources here, folks, is I'm actually going to close that window, and I'm going to go ahead and use my tablet right here because my tablet will have what I need. So let me get rid of that. YouTube. Let's go to, oh, that's not what I want. Why is that doing that? It's stuck on something that I don't want there. Just a second there. Okay. There we go. Come on, where's that? I don't want that. I want YouTube. I don't want my stuff. There we go. Now we're on YouTube. Okay. This might be a little bit better. So there we go. Yeah, if this thing does actually go, it'll be pretty awesome, folks. Like a Roman candle, huh? Lighting up, taking off into space. Pretty cool. Looking forward to it. Hopefully it will happen. Nothing yet, as I said. So let me see if I can, just a second here. I'm getting all kinds of channels that I don't want and not the one I do want. So let's see if it loads very quickly here. By the way, today you might notice the photograph for the stream. That's from yesterday when I did a video talking about thanking for others for helping us out, who make our lives possible each and every day, not just law enforcement and first responders and doctors and so on, nurses, EMTs, firefighters, but also the folks who make your bread, the folks who keep the heat on, keep the gas going, keep the electricity going. I know in South Africa that may be a bit challenging, keep the lights going. But yeah, so anyway, let me just get to, I'm trying to find sorry. What's this? There we go. I found what I'm looking for now. So let me get it on here and I'll keep it up. Anyway, yeah, so I'm just watching now. So if they're getting ready to do it, then we get an announcement, I'll be able to do it. I'm not going to miss it now. So I'm going to close it over here to free up some resources, and we'll see where we go from there. All right, so good. That ought to make things a little bit better here now. By the way, I checked on my beast of a machine. It is still in the burn-in period. They're burning in the software and the hardware to make sure it's functional. So we're waiting for that to happen. Hopefully that will come to us soon. really am looking forward to that. But anyway, folks, SpaceX, for those who don't know it, is a company that was founded by Elon Musk. He had a vision to go to Mars. This is 21 years ago. He wanted to do this. Of course, Elon Musk is famously a South African who was part of PayPal and made his fortune, about $1 billion off of PayPal, took that, rolled it into other things, including Tesla, which is a very famous car manufacturer now for battery-operated cars, and then also founded SpaceX, among other things. No ground clouds or condenser venting will take a long while from now. Yeah, exactly. They're not, well, I see some clouds right there, but that is not, hang on a second here. That doesn't look like it's coming. That's from the 10. That's not from 9. Yeah, I see some clouds on the ground, but that is not coming from Starship 9. That's coming from something else. I have no idea what that's all about. Anyway, so yeah, it's going to be a while. I don't know when they're going to launch this thing, so a little frustrating. But watching these two ships earlier, you can see the flaps are different for each of them. And SN10, the sun was glinting off the top of the capsule. That was pretty cool. Pretty cool. Quentin says not going to happen in the next 2 hours. Yep. Well, the problem they run into is that it's 2 now. If they go more than 4 hours or so, they might have a problem with light. Do you think anyone remembers Mark Shuttleworth? Yeah. Nico, I remember Mark Shuttleworth, South Africa's astronaut. Absolutely. 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 Who said men can't multitask? Someone did in the earlier stream. Someone said men can't multitask in the earlier stream. That was a little crazy and frustrating. Anyway, folks, it's now 2:18. And so it doesn't look like this is going to happen. And of course, Quentin is a massive space fan, so he's up on top of that, letting us know. But the SN9 and the SN10 are both constructed. The 9 is supposed to do a high-altitude test flight of 10 kilometers today. This flight has been delayed several days in a row, so I really didn't think it was going to go today. But a lot of people seem convinced. At the moment, it looks like, unfortunately, I'm winning that argument. Not that I was trying to have an argument, but 10 kilometer high altitude test flight for the SN9, and they will come back and hopefully land on the landing spot correctly and not blow up like SN8 did. Although I gotta say, for entertainment value, that was pretty impressive. But they are putting all their cookies in one basket this time because they have a lot of stuff near where this thing is. Not like they've kept it isolated by itself. So if they hit the ground and blow up in the wrong spot, they're going to destroy more than just SN9. What about Tesla manufacturing machines for DMA printers? What about it, Dane? What about it? What's your question? Bosch says, can't wait for the new machine. Production value should be greatly improved. No doubt. Also, as I said, my plan is once the new machine comes and I break it in, I intend to get a second camera. So I'll give you different camera angles, which will allow me to maybe mount the camera up here on the corner of the desk so you can catch a side angle. And I can switch between cameras when someone's being interviewed. You can see me look at him, that sort of thing. Also, I'll use it to look down on the table. So when I open up books or go through things, you'll have a bird's eye view. So for instance, if I were reading this magazine, which I'm reading, and so we can both share it, the Battle of Hue, and I want to show you a map on here, I could simply open it up and keep it on a table right here in front of myself with a camera up here, and then it would point down, I would point to it, and you would see real time what I'm pointing at, which would be a nice, I think, production value assistance too. There's a lot of great maps and things like this. That's the Iran-Iraq war right there, but showing it to you like this is not the most effective or professional way. So I do have lots of plans for the channel. It was interesting this morning, ladies and gentlemen, seeing Roman Kabanek talking about should he change his channel. I didn't catch the beginning part of the stream, so I'm not really sure what that prompt was prompted by. Maybe because he's frustrated that now something's being vented. It looks like a gas line. Yeah, okay, a different angle here, so it's definitely not the spaceships. But yeah, I think he's reflecting on his channel. I've done a lot of that over the past 3 months, December, January, and now into February, starting the third month of reflection on the channel. And I made some changes, one of which being that for the early program, we no longer allow chat for the first half hour or so while I cover the news and the headlines. And then afterwards, we open the chat up. That seems to have been quite popular. I'm also going to make some additional changes to the channel, but constantly working on improving the production value. And for those wondering about cake tape, that's not going to happen until after my new machine arrives. I want to have good production value for that. I don't want to waste people's times. Marty 1970 says, yet to see the rockets land without an edit. Well, Marty, watch my video. You got to watch the rocket land. It landed pretty hard, but it landed. DMA is new medicine tech for making vaccinations by the billions. Medical conditions become a software problem. That's DRNA or DMA. I can't read that. I can't read that. For some reason, it's not coming up well on my screen. But SN9 is just teasing us right now, folks. It's 68 degrees Fahrenheit or 20 degrees Celsius with clear skies. Winds are at 7 knots at Boca Chica. So it's not a weather issue. FFA has given approval. The aircraft is fueled. And we are just waiting. But I don't... Looking to see if it's been scrubbed or not. I'm sorry, just keeping an eye over here, but nothing happening. Beth says, I think he's just trying to think of sustainability of the channel, maybe. I also haven't watched the stream yet. Yeah, no, I think so. Well, he's also, I think he's also talking about viability financially for the channel because he puts a lot of time into it. And it's, you know, what's his other thing he does, the program? Because I've been on that program before, which he was doing before this. So he's in media, and he's probably looking for the channel to make money. It's not really making enough money, I think, is the issue for the time he puts into it. I can attest to that. If I was doing this for money, I'd have given up a long time ago. While the super chats are much appreciated, I love the super chats. I appreciate when people watch the ads, so I get a couple fractions of a cent for every ad that's watched. And I do appreciate all the support for the channel, the paying memberships and such. All of that together, while it's nice, I couldn't live off that, not unless I moved to a trailer like Ted Kaczynski and lived in the mountains or the flatlands of eastern Montana and never went shopping. Yeah, but yeah, I think that's what he's probably trying to do. But the thing is, folks, is when you get over 100,000 subscribers, you get you say you get 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 subscribers. People that have channels that big can make a living from YouTube. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right Side Media, which has just 14 employees, I watched them get tens of thousands of dollars per broadcast every time Donald Trump came on, more than covering their costs since they're not even paying for the channel. All they're paying for is people to travel to the events, cover them. So their travel, their lodging, and that's it, and their salaries. Now, not that that's insignificant and expensive, but they were all unheard of, never seen before broadcasters. So I'm guessing there's all kids right out of or still in college who want to go in the broadcasting field who are broadcasting for Right Side Media, or maybe just people who are activists and appreciate the right side approach. So yeah, they have been rolling in the cash. I don't know how much money they are making or not making, but I can imagine they must be making a ton of money. Also, Officer Tatum, and then the what's the other dudes? The Hodge twins. Man, people just throw money at them. Every time they're on, they make a ton of money from super chats. People just throw super chats. They don't even talk to the chat. They don't even address it. They just go on and chat with themselves, the two twins, and then Tatum by himself, and people throw money at them. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it at all. In fact, on this other channel here, right now, I see $5, 2 memberships, some currency I don't recognize, $5, 5 Swiss francs, 10 euros, $20, membership. I saw $500 earlier, US. I saw Brazilian reals or dollars, whatever they're called, all kinds. And that channel is just another membership. People are signing up for it left and right. So it's pretty cool. But the key is you've got to have an audience. You got to get that audience if you're trying to make a living off of it. This channel was never meant to make a living off of. If it got to that point, I'd be very happy. That'd be pretty awesome. But that was never the intent. Can I put the live stream on? Well, I can, but then we'll start buffering again, won't we? We'll start buffering again. That's the problem we had before. I stopped it. I can't. No, I'm at 100% for some reason. I have no idea why. Let me try to get rid of some of this problem here and get rid of some things, and we'll see what happens. I'm closing everything I could possibly find on my computer that's open that could have anything to do with anything and try to free up some resources, and nothing is getting free. My CPU is running at 97%. I have absolutely no idea why. There's nothing on right now except my stream. 96%. No, I can't show the live stream. There's nothing to see. What do you want to see? What do you want to see? It's just 2 silver ships sitting there. Nothing's happening. Jason, I'll try to get to it if my resources come back, but right now they're just starting to come down to a manageable level. All right, as they come down, as the computer winds down a little bit, I'll open up that again and try to go with it. So I'm still waiting for this, but there's nothing to see. Morning Shot has bigger ambitions than just a YouTube service. He's harnessing the crowd. Well, Lars Salas, since I started the Dobber Broadcasting Network, I too have bigger ambitions, and I've tried different approaches and different platforms for this, not just broadcasting, but also journalism. And that includes my appearance as a personality in other networks, so I appreciate where he's coming from. But I too have, whoops, this Starship, 2 p.m., well... Okay, so now they're saying it's going to launch at 2 p.m., which Central Time, which is 3 p.m. So if that's the case, that's 33 minutes away from now. We'll see if that happens. What's a great stream idea? Yeah, I can't wait till I get my new PC too, Kyle, because this is very annoying. It's like I'm walking around with an 8086 processor. I'm not. I'm walking around with a pretty decent machine. But, never get a PC where the graphics card is built into the motherboard. That's a problem. So happy your pronunciation of cake tape worked out. It sounds great. Yeah, thank you. What's a great stream idea, Jan Hendrik Sneeman? Anyway, let me check my resources. And, okay, we're still not in a great level, but better. Let me try again and see what's happening here. And I will do this and see if I can't get to it. But watch, it's just going to start spazzing. Yep, just spazzed up to 99% of my CPU is in use, which means I'll get lagging time. Once again, I don't know what the problem is here, folks. I had none of these problems, 100% CPU usage. I had none of these problems until Microsoft updated my computer with their bloatware. And also Logitech updated their software, and Streamlabs all updated their software at the end of November, early December. Victoria Conti's here. Can I say a few words about people maybe being a bit foolish? Do you mean foolish? Foolish. Thank you for asking, Victoria. Obviously, it's unrelated to the space launch, but this stream may become a space launch / Night Owls edition, so we'll see what's happening. Here for the launch, don't worry about the image. We'll listen to you and get the feed visually in another window. No, you'll get the feed if I can get this thing to behave itself once it comes up, but there's nothing to see right now. So I can put it up, folks, but I mean, trust me, there's nothing to see. Let me get this again. Okay. I'm just going to bring it up, and we'll see if it crashes me again. It's watching news, then side babbles from trolls. Okay. You must learn to harvest the crowd, too. You don't have to do everything yourself. You have a following. Well, Lars Hollis, I'm a little uncomfortable asking people to do things that they're not compensated for. I appreciate where you're coming from, and a lot of people like to do things. I was kind of not put off, but embarrassed when Talon Bezuidenhout and others early in my stream said, hey, can you do this? Can we do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? And I wasn't making money in the channel, and so I'm like, look, I'm not looking to buy stuff. No, this is for you free, And others did the same thing, offering to do things. But I'm a little bit, is that coming from the ship now? Yeah, I see some a release of venting of steam from the side of the ship now, so that's a good sign that this might actually take place at 3 p.m. Pretty cool. Anyway, let me see if I can't find this. Let's see what happens to my resources. Where are we at? 95%. This is crazy. Lars Salas, you have a good point. Lars Salas, why don't you and I have a conversation? You seem to have a lot of ideas. Let's have a conversation, okay? What's going on here? Okay. Now let's see what happens. 89%. If I can get this running again without 95%, oh my gosh. 96%, 92%. Okay, it's back up now. Yeah, the aircraft has got, they're definitely venting now, so they're prepping. It looks like they're prepping. So I'm at 98%, and I don't want, stop that. I don't want that nonsense. Sorry, here. So let me get this here very quickly and check my channel. Whoa, that's not what I wanted. There we go. All right, so my channel's still good, okay. I'm not live here now. Now I'm live, okay. 85, I just lost a bunch of people. Why did everybody leave? Just extremely tired, had the worst sore throat ever. Are you talking about when you had COVID, Laura? Oh, you are talking about when you had COVID. It's a few things. Well, Victoria, why do you want to talk about it now? What's up? Victoria says, I would like to ask you some questions on the political side, but Victoria, this isn't a stream about politics. So if you can hang around for a little bit, we'll get to that. This is a stream about, and I think that the title, SpaceX Starship SN9 test flight and landing, probably should have been a clue this wasn't a political stream. So Victoria, I don't usually accuse you of trolling, but I don't understand what's going on here. Lars Salas, a great production assistant to have in your corner. Well, Beth, Lars Salas is all but said he wants to help. I mean, he sort of said he wanted to help, but we got to chat. I don't mean chat through email, Lars Salas. Let's do a Zoom session, and let's touch base and see what's going on here, okay? Yeah, your ideas are right, but just trying to build my channel legitimately without relying on other people. There's nothing wrong with relying on other people, but I didn't want to put a burden on people because I didn't intend for this to be what it is. But I have been reflecting, and so your ideas have some merit to them, so we can touch base. Vutsarko says the SN9 is 9 meters wide and 15 meters tall. That is correct. Thank you for that tidbit there, Vutsarko. Bellevue Pete says, hey, Chris Wyatt, so you're watching and waiting as well. Yeah, it's been a week. Why has it been a week there, Belleville Pete? What happened? Has it been a long week? It's only Tuesday. What do you mean it's been a week? Jason Rennick says, how many people does Elon Musk want to take to Mars per flight, Chris? Let's see. There's Juju and Cyril Ramaphosa and Kozazani Dlamini-Zuma, Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. I think that's the first passenger list, and we're pretty much set from that point on. So let's see what happens if I do this. Okay, let's see if I do this. I'm going to try this again, folks. Let's see what happens. And if I'm going to put this up here. See, I put that full screen. Why does it do that? It shouldn't take all those resources to go full screen. Facebook execs caught admitting disturbing truth. Shocker, not. Okay, let's put that. There it is again there, folks. Okay, so it's back up. And it looks like my resource is good for the moment, so they shouldn't be lagging. I'll keep it up there. So it took that long to get things back under control. Folks, you're listening to Chris Wyatt Africa here on the Indaba Africa channel, part of the Indaba Broadcasting Network. Thanks for tuning in. This stream was meant to be for the launch of SpaceX's S9 spaceship, or Starship, I should say, launch for a 10-kilometer high-altitude test flight and successful landing back on the landing pad. It has been delayed one day after another. It was supposed to go today. Now we're expecting it to take off at 3 p.m. Central Time, which is 28 minutes from now. So I was going to do a night owls edition, but given that this flight looks like it might take off, I'm not going to break. I'm going to continue to cover this. We'll stay with this stream instead of change. Besides, why should I make the 95 people currently present have to hang up on this stream and come back and join another stream? So there you go, folks. Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, boring company, etc., etc., etc. Okay. SpaceX is a boring company? Interesting. I gladly have a Zoom session we can arrange offline. Absolutely, Larsalis, not a problem. We can do that. Do you keep late hours? I think you do because you're always watching my stream. So, absolutely. Ever seen the movie Dunkirk? No, I've not seen it, Brett. I've not seen the movie. Lots of people have, but I'm not one of them. Oh, my goodness. Here's one of the problems right here. That's it. I'm uninstalling this Al's Logics. I never had a problem with it, but now it's just always running in the background, eating up my resources. And I didn't even know it was running. It just came up with a window telling me to do something. Jake Ellis says, what about trying to cool your system down using bigger fans? It's not overheating, Jake. It's not the problem. So let me just give an example. Right now, 90% of my CPU is in use, 48% of my RAM, and 3% of my disk. I changed my virtual RAM settings for my hard drive, and it used to be maxing out my hard drive, and then I would lose control of my hard drive because Microsoft downloads its shit operating system without your permission. I deny it permission, and it still does it all the time. And it clogging up my bandwidth, which is not the problem. I have a gig download. That's not a problem. But the real problem is it's taking my PC resources as it installs its garbage updates in the background without my permission. Stop updating my computer, Microsoft. You don't have my permission. You can only install an update when I say you can install it in the middle of the night when I'm not doing something, bastards. And so that happens. Plus other apps do this that you give no permission to. They start doing it. You deny permission. You put in the settings they can't do it, and they still do it. Yeah, so 88% CPU usage, 48% memory right now, and 3% of the disk is in use as virtual memory. That used to be running 100%. I've literally, since they put this crap on my computer in December, I've had to delay a stream after waiting 46 minutes to gain control of my computer where 100%, and almost as if, somebody has broken in remote to my computer and is downloading all the files or scanning my hard drive consistently, or antivirus is spinning out of control for an hour. It's really annoying and irritating. So that's all going to be a thing of the past with a brand new machine, the Beast, waiting for it. It's in a burn-in period right now. Futsarko says liquid nitrogen is used for cooling the ship. I use air conditioners. That's what I use. Don't change the stream. It's going fine. Nice change of politics and trolls. COVID will kill the landing. Dylan Combrick says COVID will kill the landing. Victoria says, I know a guy that can help you with your PC. Victoria, I'm not going to need any help in a few more days. I'll have a brand new PC. I'll have to set it up. But so, guys, thank you. I appreciate it. Why does everybody think that I don't know anything about PCs? I used to write code. I've built PCs. I know a lot about PCs. The problem is something I can't control. Unless you can tell me how to go into Microsoft's operating system and give me a command line or tell me where I can go in and delete that crap from my sysconfigure file or something like that so I can stop Microsoft from updating my computers. Unless you can help me with that, that's not really going to help me. I mean, that's something I don't have the time to be figuring out. But yeah. Will you travel to Africa again? Yes, of course, Brett. But I can't as long as Joe Biden is president. He's a racist. White people can't go to Africa, and black people can't come from South Africa to America. Joe Biden has deigned it so. Dominus omnis in patronium. Joe Biden, the bigot, xenophobe, racist, won't let black Africans come to America. Mark DeVilla says, boring company, the tunneling. Oh, boring. Boring. Okay, got it. Well, the way it's written is, if the company's name is boring, then you've got to put an uppercase to identify it. See, wow. I tell you what, Eats, Shoots, and Leaves. Read it. Good book. Eats, Shoots, and Leaves. You understand what I'm talking about. What does Task Manager say is running in the background? Oh, come on. Seriously? Online Optics? Oh, my God. 8,000 freaking things. Host, runtime servers. Okay, that disk defragging, get rid of that. NTAS, that's gone. Cisco Web Service X. I'm not even using WebEx, so that close that, end that task. There you go. And most of the stuff is stuff you try to kill it, and then you crash what you're running. So your phone, that's another Microsoft bullshit I didn't ask for. I have only 3 apps actually up and running. My browser, my camera, and my Streamlabs. That's it. There's no other apps, but there are here clearly 200 or 300 things running in the background. But it doesn't matter because Task Manager lies to you. It tells me 87% of CPU is used, and the numbers don't add up. Firefox is currently using 29% of my browser, and OBS is using 22%. Anyway, I didn't mean to turn this into a browser discussion, a computer discussion, but currently 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 degrees Celsius. Perfect weather, ladies and gentlemen. That's my kind of weather. 7 knots is the wind speed, and we're now waiting for a launch in 21 minutes. We'll see if it actually happens. I've seen that where Mark DeVilliers, where the Tesla runs through. Will I ever return to library? I just came back from the library a couple years ago. I'll probably go back at some point. The Elon Musk company. I wasn't sure, Dane, if that's what you're talking about, or you're saying there were boring companies. Boring, as in boring into the earth. Thank you. Appreciate that for the clarification. Akan Feldman, not infantry. What are you talking about? Look up SU10 guard if you want to stop updates for Windows. Ah, there you go. Now there's something that's helpful. SU10 guard, okay? SU10 guard. Okay, cool. That's helpful. Thank you. Cool beans. Cool beans. Anyway, currently 100 people watching the stream, folks. We're waiting for the SN9 Starship to launch. It's a little behind. Laura went to bed. Good night, Laura. Stephen Vivek, boring company is Elon's tunnel digging business. Why is Elon Musk digging tunnels? I didn't even know he had that company. Why is he digging? Okay, so Victoria said, I want to ask you if you think the people who protest the closure on our beaches were taken into custody. Do you think now they'll be released after last night? No, I don't, Victoria. I don't think they will be released. Are they in prison? They shouldn't be in prison at this stage. I mean, we mean will the charges be dismissed? I don't think so. I don't think so. By the way, those restrictions to the beaches are unconstitutional. And those sort of restrictions were proven to be unconstitutional and adjudged to be unconstitutional back in June by the North Gauteng High Court. It's the same court, of course, that upheld the racist Tourism Relief Fund, which denied funds to minority-owned businesses. It upheld that on the basis that it comported with the law. Well, the law is unconstitutional. So you should have reviewed the law and said the law that allowed them to do that is unconstitutional. Therefore, the action is unconstitutional. But they said, no, there's a law. Make a law, whatever you want. Black people can't leave reservations. Black people have to travel with passes. That's a law. It's okay. Do it. What? Come on, man. Utter nonsense. But the North Gauteng High Court declared Victoria back in June that virtually everything that was happening under the lockdown, all the restrictions were unconstitutional. Yep. So, yeah, they'll continue to press forward with that. We're still waiting to hear what's happened to the 230,000 people who were charged with lockdown crimes from March until June. I haven't heard much on that. Nobody's talking about that. I did see Rahman, the dude who was interviewed for walking outside his place with his toddler, and he was arrested. And I've heard no updates on any of that stuff. Anyway. What did we say back when the new Robin Island? Anyway, Victoria, did I answer your question? I thought you were going to go somewhere else with the politics. That's fine. You can ask, Victoria, if you got questions like that, you can ask it. That's fine. And what else we got here? 22 minutes to go. Well, let's hope so, Futsarko. Let's hope so. It's just big enough for the car to ride through. I have to check and see if SpaceX has got their act together, because SpaceX stream wasn't up yet. Okay, Victoria says yes. Always love watching the launch. Never get tired of it. Yeah, I love the launch too. It's pretty cool stuff, folks. Nobody's been taken to court for breaking lockdown. Okay, thank you, Arctic. I appreciate that for sharing that. Do you remember the story with the woodpeckers at NASA? I do not, Kyle. I do not remember the story. Is Elon Musk an alien among us? No, but there are several million illegal aliens in South Africa, as are tens of million illegal aliens in the United States. Stephen van Wyk says, what's this? Oh, Stephen Wyk says, it is for transport, Hyperloop, and EV. He is currently building a network for the Vegas Strip. Okay. I don't know why. I walk the Vegas Strip. It's not taxing. You can pretty much stay inside most of the way if you want. You hardly have to walk outside. Those birds cause millions of damage to rockets. Oh, I'm not surprised by that. Do we all think this will land this time? We were taking bets on that, Mark DeVilliers. Earlier, we were saying Vutsarko, I think, came in with a 75% expectation it would land successfully. I said 60%. When is your spaceship taking off? Jason, it's supposed to take off at 2 p.m. Central Time, which is in 18 minutes from now. Victoria says, I'm totally confused by this, being perfectly honest, because our stupid lockdown laws don't make sense to me. I don't understand what you're saying, Victoria Conti. I do not understand what you're saying. Most of the they're not lockdown laws. There's no such thing. There is a law that allows the government to create a task force, or with the National Coronavirus Command Council. They can create a body like that under a state of disaster and continue it for specified periods of time. And they're allowed to take certain actions, but there's nothing in the Constitution that gives them the authority to do the things they're doing. And it's been struck down and then appealed, and nothing has happened since then. And so they keep doing it, keep breaking the law. The ANC needs to pay for your lawyer if you go to court. We don't have the money. You get arrested, violations, don't sign anything. Yeah, never sign anything. That's the key thing. Never sign anything, folks. These birds keep flying by the screen here. Look at them. They just keep flying by, a bunch of birds. It's very distracting. You see that in the screen. Anyway, if you check the government gazette, all the lockdown rules are gazetted as regulations. Not one of them are legislation, so none of them are laws. Exactly. That's what I said. So when people threaten to arrest you for a regulation, no. Imagine a boring tunnel between Cape Town and Joburg. And Vutsarko spelled it with a capital B. Thank you for that. There is a hint a launch could go ahead in 15, 20 minutes at about 10 o'clock. Yes, Keith, that's what we're expecting now. We're going to hang around. If it doesn't happen within a short time after it, then I'm going to drop that stream. But we're going to leave it up there for the moment, folks. We're waiting for the Starship 9 to launch from the Boca Chica launch facility in South Texas, located near Padre Island, the famous spring break destination for college students from around the United States. By the way, if you've ever looked at the map, it's just over the border from Mexico, folks. I mean, literally just over the border. So barely inside the United States. One can't help but wonder if part of this was either the land was dirt cheap, or they're worried that if it crashed, maybe it'll crash in Mexico and not in Texas. Not sure. Ansu Duplessis said, I told you last week about our telephone cables being stolen, and now a week later we are still not on the air. I'm using data the whole time. Very frustrating. Wow. Why did they steal the telephone cables? Do you still have copper? It wasn't fiber? That's probably why. They can't do much with the fiber. The copper they can sell illegally. Yeah, that's a common phenomenon across Africa. It's one of the reasons why Africa was so far behind the world when it came to communications, because people stole the copper from the lines all the time. And you couldn't have communications because they would always steal the wire and then sell it. It's just the same thing happens with manhole covers. They made them out of steel, and they would steal the steel. Crazy. Oh, there's no snow in Texas. It's 68 degrees Fahrenheit. It's perfect. 20 degrees Celsius. Winds 7 knots. Perfect condition. Zazu Y says, what's the point of betting, say, 76% chance of landing? Either it lands or it doesn't. Well, Zazu Wise, I don't disagree. You have a good point there. It's one or the other, isn't it? Either it lands successfully or it doesn't. But people are asking if we were offering odds. So I offered a 60% chance. I wouldn't encourage you to bet on that. You're doing okay these days. Was worried for a while that you were getting too aggravated by the events that took place in the Capitol. No, Ben. No. I was. If you think I'm not aggravated by them now, then you're misreading me. In fact, I'm about to start a Telegram group called repeal Act 77, or maybe Patriots, PA Patriots or something like that, because I need to start building a groundswell up of political awareness about what's been happening in this Commonwealth and here in the country. And people are just being too complacent. So I think it's time for me to do that. So I think I'll start with the Telegram group and go from there. Anybody, what are your thoughts on that? You think that's a good idea? I should start a Telegram group on repeal Act 77 or election integrity or something like that. Still trying to make sense of things that I don't know what to say about it. Well, South Africa doesn't make any sense, Victoria. It is Cloud Cuckoo Land 2. Of course, Cloud Cuckoo Land famously was the description by, whoops, what's going on here? Someone's driving out there now. Look at that, someone's driving. What's that all about? Let's see if we can't get some sound on that.
Out across the flats. So I don't know if they are looking for someone or what the deal with that is, but Mary is tracking that sheriff's deputy vehicle.
It's a sheriff's deputy.
And if there are sheriff's deputies driving, that sheriff's deputy is a long way away, because look at the haze. She's got this way zoomed in, and I am wondering what they are out there looking for.
Aliens. The sheriff's deputy's gone out to pick up the aliens.
And it looks like Mary's getting some good practice for the hop of that deputy, so that's cool.
No idea what that's all about, folks. But anyway, so we just, oh, we're not live. What's going on there? There we go. Anyway, that wasn't live. I got to get it live. Somehow we lost the live feed. There we go. Now we're up to date. I'm still not live. What's going on here? There's the sheriff's deputy.
There, but that is on the far side. And it's not actively cruising around. It almost looks like it's just there. But I don't see anyone outside of it looking around or anything like that. But again, there are sheriff's deputies operating around the area, making sure that all of that is cleared out.
Making sure people are out of the area. Okay.
So,
well, there you go. Yep. So, Larsalis laws also need Parliament's approval. Remember, they did public participation when 2,000 people told them to ban smokes. Yeah, 2,000 people, and 88,000 people said no. See the launch updated to 42 minutes for the right. What's that? On another stream. Okay. Okay. Oh, that cop car's got his lights on. What is going on? Somebody out there? So there's some drama going on here, folks.
The sheriff's vehicle, and Mary has eyes on this. Again, not exactly sure what that is.
Wow.
Looks like they may have it moving now.
Well, that's crazy.
Definitely
What's going on here, folks? Well, we may not get a launch, but we certainly got people intruding on the space. What's going on out there?
And they might have got shooed away there.
Lots happening there, folks.
There was something that the sheriff's got eyes on out there and went out to resolve it, looks like, y'all.
So good job by
just checking the SpaceX site,
finding that.
They're still not ready to launch.
Again,
going to politics, Chris, your country needs you. Well, Jaco Bester, I'm considering it very seriously.
We've talked about how Cape Canaveral and
maybe they're looking for someone who lives in Africa time.
Launching rockets for 50 years, right? And the boat's clearing out.
Yes, I do know what Africa time is. I've spent a lot of my life living in Africa. We call it West Africa time to be very distinct about West Africa. Not much in South Africa has made sense in the last 10 months as living. Not much in South Africa has made sense to me for the past 27 years. No, that's not true. I would say for the last 3 or 4 years, maybe 10 years, South Africa's made very little sense. My take is the whole world's upside down, says Anna Marie. Now, there you go, folks. SN9 on the right, SN10 on the left of that image you see right there. Currently 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 degrees Celsius. Perfect weather conditions. Visibility virtually unlimited. And winds at 7 knots. So that's not a space protester. Perhaps that's what it is. It's like that movie Contact with Jodie Foster when Gary Busey, the nut job, runs out there and blows it all up. Garth McCarty says, Margaret Thatcher did not say if anyone thinks the ANC can run South Africa, they'd be living in cloud cuckoo. She called Zimbabwe Rhodesia cloud cuckoo land. I don't know if she said it about South Africa. Lars Solid says, so I must have missed something else Lars Solid said. So Telegram is a good place to start, but for political career, it's important to go to rallies and protests. The footage will be used for your channel and campaigns later too. Oh, that's true, Lars Solid. That's true. But with a crackdown on freedom of assembly, it's difficult for protest and rallies right now. And of course, remember, Lars Salas, I was serving in uniforms, not something I could do in the past. So we've had lockdowns, so really limited. I have gotten involved with a political party, but just on the edges of it. So, yeah. No, I didn't say that I could start a political career by having a Telegram group. I'm just trying to find like-minded people. Bav Z307 says, don't understand why it takes SpaceX so long to launch a rocket when Chris Wyatt can get to the ISS and broadcast a live stream from there in an instant. Well, that's true, Bav. It is a good point because I have a live stream from the International Space Station. It happened pretty quickly, so that's a good point. What's this dude doing out there in this pickup truck? He's out there in a bucky running around. That's this is going to mess up the launch, which is supposed to be in 8 minutes, folks. Supposed to be in just 9 minutes. 9 minutes. Yep, 9 minutes. They're looking for those Russian lizard man spies. Oh my gosh! Not sure if it was Margaret Thatcher. I wouldn't surprise. She says buffering again. $85 a kilo. Wow. What's $85 a kilo? So there we go. What else we got here? Rick Hearn. Good evening, Rick. Pleasure to see you again. Welcome. If you tune in for the Night Owls edition, we have not gotten to it. We are still giving live coverage of the events unfolding in Boca Chica launch facility there in South Texas for SpaceX, which you see this truck now in the foreground. Behind it, you see the SN9 on the right, the SN10 on the left. The SN9 is supposed to launch for a 10-kilometer high-altitude test flight today and then come back, reorient, and land successfully on the launch pad. They've never announced the time, but they have said they expect it'll be in about 7 minutes, but that doesn't look so promising. We shall see. Someone said a moment ago that another site told them 42 minutes. I don't know where they're getting their data from, but there you go. That's the SN9 on the right and the SN10 on the left. The 10 is not launching today, just the 9. And we are waiting to see what happens, folks. This is pretty cool. It kind of reminds me of The Greatest American Hero. That's a cool show. Online Opti says, you've probably done this right, but in Task Manager, click Service tab, go to tab, and click on Update Speed and check to see if it's low. Okay, let me try that. I don't know if I've done it. Okay, Task Manager, go to Service tab. Okay, Service tab, I'm there. And then go to View tab at top, click on Update Speed. Oh, okay. It's set for normal. I just changed it to high. Will that make a difference? I'd never done that. And I've just refreshed. So it's set for high. Well, let's see if that makes a difference. Interesting. The resource is still being used pretty high. But yeah, we'll see. But thank you for that. I'll try Online Optics. Right. So we're still waiting here, folks. These streams are amazing with the community. You all are absolutely awesome. Well, thank you. Yeah, Colin is pretty cool. Eclectic group of folks, South African expats, Americans, Canadians, Australians, New Zealanders, who else? Nepalese, Koreans, all kinds of people tuning in for this. It's pretty cool stuff, folks. Garth McCarthy says turns out she did in 87. Anyone? Okay. Thank you, Garth. Thank you for looking that up. Yep. Cool. Yeah, Cloud Cuckoo Land, which comes from a novel. That's originally the original place it came from. Also went so far as to describe ANC in 87 as terrorist. Well, they were terrorists in 87. Bav says, I saw one of your older live streams. You had a time bar with different regions at the bottom of your browser. Is that an app or an extension? It's an extension for Firefox. It's one of the things I like about it. It's world clocks or something like that. I keep it, and I keep all the hours. Whoops, my screen just froze. I keep all the different time zones of places I have an interest in. So quite a few places there you can see across, and I try to keep them chronologically. It's also easy to keep track of what time it is in New Zealand that way, and Japan. Otherwise, you get kind of thrown off. Was it 1969 when America first landed on the moon? Yes, that's correct. Yes, Apollo 11 landed in 1969. Neil Armstrong, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. There you go. Yep, you are correct. Am I wrong with that question? What, are you wrong with asking a space question on a space stream? Not at all, Victoria. I even answered your political question. Yeah. So, Salami Gaming SA. Well, it's going okay. Welcome to the stream. What you doing popping in here? Salami says, oh, I missed that. Excited for the rocket start. How is it going in America? Greetings from Germany. PC, what is that? I don't know what that means. I see the flag. Hier bei uns in Vereinigten Staaten ziemlich gut. Ja, wir erwarten immer noch diese Luftsprung von die SN9 von SpaceX. Und die sind jetzt ein bisschen spät. Das sollte schon um 14 Uhr sein. Und jetzt ist fast 15 Uhr. Und hoffentlich, wir werden also dieser Launch gleich in die nächsten Minuten da sehen, hier auf Chris Wyatt Africa. Herzlich willkommen, Poku, keine Ahnung. Yeah, okay. So if you're actually in Germany, you just understood what I said, most likely. Unless you're an American who doesn't speak German, who's in Germany. Okay. Right. Needs to be low or pause so you don't use your processor so much. Oh, so I went the wrong way? Okay, let me go back and do that. Okay. So I thought you told me to put it, update speed low. Okay. All right, now I've put it on low. Okay, let's see if that helps. Well, you know, people get upset about things. Yes, they do, including me. I get upset about some things too. Who was it earlier, a short while ago, was asking me if I was okay about the politics. Yeah, no, I'm fine. But I'm not fine with the outcome. Heinz says, alles klar. Herr Kommissar. Was kommt denn da von Wusterkrack aus Frankfurt, Darmstadt, Offenbach? Was tut den Bayern los, Wiesbaden los, so gnadenlos? Erbarmen! Zu spät, die Hesse kommen. Blauwerkkrieger. Favorite Afrikaans word? Probably foot sick. Did you just cast a spell? Yes, Bennett Promet, I just cast a spell. But it makes sense in Dutch. Cool, your German is really good. Tja, manche haben das schon gesagt. Viele denken, dass ich aus der Nähe von Frankfurt komme. Ja, aber das ist ja falsch. Also ich war in Rheinland-Pfalz stationiert und später in Hesse. Und deswegen denken viele Leute, dass ich aus dieser Region komme. Aber das ist nicht wahr. Ich bin Amerikaner. Ganz durch Amerikaner. Seit Geburt Amerikaner. Yeah, anyway, so are we on? It looks like expected shortly. So we're waiting. It's not there. The way for me to check is if SpaceX does they start playing their stream. So let's see what's going on there. Are they ready yet? Let's see. And are they streaming yet? Nope, they're not streaming. So if they're not streaming, see some Rammstein. I'm not a fan of Rammstein. They're okay, but not really a fan of that music, but it's okay. Bennett Pramad says, thanks, Chris. Now my furniture is floating. Oh, sing some Rammstein. No. German, but speak more slowly. That's funny. Let's see what else. Okay, so, yeah. In Dutch, it means something different. What did I say that means something different in Dutch? We are supposedly 24 seconds away from the launch, but that is not happening in 24 seconds, folks. So we'll give it a little bit more time to see what's happening here. Hopefully it will happen. We're still waiting for SpaceX. SpaceX even hasn't gone live with their stream. So if they're not going to go live, then you know that that this thing isn't ready yet. So no, they're not streaming because they do stream it. What I like about the SpaceX feed is that it has the cool dashboard on the screen, and you get to see all the key data that as it takes off. Garth, I would love Chris to interview John Tungay. That man has 86 years of political experience. Love them. Love that band. Rammstein. No, I prefer Bop. Bop is pretty cool. Of course, Nena is one of my favorite groups. Klaus Lager was pretty cool back in the day. Yeah. Lots of Christina Strömer, another good one. She's from Österreich. Really good musician. Yes, I do eat biltong salami gaming. I love biltong, but don't tell anybody. I prefer biltong from Botswana to South African. You guys like to put too much fat on it. I prefer it without the fat. It tastes much better without all the fat. And I like the chili bites. Those are awesome. Yeah, driving down the road in my Toyota 4Runner with my V8 left-hand drive, tooling down the road, eating those chili bites, drinking those Energades, the blue ones and the grape ones, good stuff. Breakdown now on probability of landing is 50, oh, you're lowering it. 55% now, Vusarka went from 75% to 55%. Hey, let's take some nods on whether this thing launches or not. Odds of it launching, 50-50. The steam is not coming from the plane. It's coming from something near there, or from that ship. The ship on the right is where the steam should be coming from. The ship on the right is the one supposed to launch. Kudu is good. Kudu Biltong is very good, yes. Yep. Here a matras is a whip mat. Anyway, I can get you biltong without fat. Oh, cool, says Victoria. Thanks. Ben Duplessis says, did you go to see Zeppelin Park in Nuremberg back in the day when you were in Germany? Amazing how things changed. No, but I have been to Zeppelin down near Friedrichshafen, down on the Bodensee. That's the Lake Constance. I've been there. I've actually done a flight in a Zeppelin. Well, they're lighter than air Zeppelins, but the Zeppelin Corporation. Really cool stuff, man. A little pricey. I just did it because it was one time. I did that a few years ago when I was in Stuttgart. Went down there. It was pretty awesome, folks. I'm telling you, it was amazing. Unbelievable. Just double checking. Still no projected time for the launch. What are these guys doing there? Zooming in, very poor quality. There we go. Yeah, there is a lot of smoke and steam coming from something there, but that is not coming from the launch vehicle. The launch vehicle is the one on the right. That's SN9. SN10 is to the left. So I'm not really sure what that's about. You see the pleasure boats there out there in the water, zipping back and forth, trying to be part of the scene. Leanne Prentice is here. Good evening. How are you doing? Don't worry about being late. This was supposed to be a stream for the launch, which was now over an hour ago, and it didn't happen. So we're just hanging around. We're just hanging around and waiting for the launch, and I've combined Night Owls into this one. And Borvors. No, I don't really care for that. Not my cup of tea. Now, there you go. See, that's not coming from the craft. That's coming from something to the side there. All that steam, not coming from the craft. And actually, yeah, so interesting. But they look like silver bullets, don't they? That's what they look like. Hakan Feldman says it's going to happen today. Okay. SpaceX test flights, betting pool is hell of an idea. Exactly. Could be, Tian, could be. Have you eaten Mopani worms? No, I don't eat Mopani worms. And, yeah, no, not my thing. Not my thing. I'll pass. Anyway, so there you go, folks. Anyway, as I said earlier, just to get people up to date so everybody's straight on what's happening here, this is supposed to be the SpaceX high-altitude test flight for the serial number 9 Starship, SN9. It's a second high-altitude suborbital flight. The first one was Starship 8, which famously rotated and exploded on landing, which was kind of cool. This is from the Boca Chica launch facility located in Cameron County, Texas, on the border with Mexico, just below Padre Island. Now, this the SN9 will be powered for ascent by 3 Raptor engines, and each shuts down in sequence prior to the vehicle reaching apogee, so its peak, at 10 kilometers in altitude. Once it gets 10 kilometers, all 3 engines will be off. The SN9 will perform a propellant transition from the internal header tanks, which hold the landing propellant before reorienting itself. It'll turn, and it'll come down, and then it'll turn again, and it will have a controlled aerodynamic descent. That's the plan anyway. That's what we're waiting to see. Now, this prototype will descend under active aerodynamic control. They have accomplished this through independent movement of 2 forward and 2 aft flaps, and you can see those on the aircraft. And those flaps are actuated by an onboard flight computer that controls Starship's attitude. Yeah, altitude. Yeah, you control its attitude too. It controls its attitude during flight and enables precise landing at the intended location. At least that's the plan. They landed at the right location last time. It's just they blew up on landing with the SN8. Now, the Raptor engines will reignite as the vehicle attempts a landing flip maneuver immediately before touching down on the landing pad, which is directly adjacent to that launch site you see right there. This controlled aerodynamic descent with body flaps and vertical landing capability combined with in-space refilling. Oh, that's a good sign. Do you see it coming out the side there, folks? That's a good sign. Let's get some audio on this.
I have to check the focus.
Yeah,
I have to check the focus to make sure it's perfect. And I was trying to do that when that happened, but
yeah. Sorry about that, Michael. I said I wasn't going to do it, and then the methane vent. So
I saw that and I immediately moved it back. So we're good.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, now I'm going to do it.
Okay, now you're going to. Okay, now go ahead. Okay.
They're just joking around now.
Again,
All right.
All right. Well, we saw some expellant coming out the side there, but don't know what's going to happen now. Anyway, what was I saying? I was talking about. Open Sauce just subscribed. Well, thank you for subscribing, Open Sauce. Hey, by the way, folks, we're pushing up to 20,900. If you know any folks that would be finding this content interesting or compelling, whether it's this or rugby or politics in the U.S. or South Africa, Mom Jameson just subscribed. Well, thank you, Mom Jameson. Pretty cool. Appreciate you subscribing. Just let them know about it. Let them join the stream. Let them be part of the team. Anyway, so it costs nothing to be part of the team. There's Joni DeBacco just subscribed. Well, thank you, Joni, for subscribing. And El Rothman, I haven't seen you in a while, have I? Grew up in Ovambo land and did not even have worm. Yeah, I know. You're from Namibia. Linda Lamb just subscribed. Thank you so much for that. Stream is about 30 seconds behind. Okay, well, it won't go live is the problem.
Right. There's a
I've tried to go live with it repeatedly on different devices, and their feed won't go live and stay live. So let's see where we're at here. It won't go live. It refuses. Someone else just subscribed. Thank you for subscribing. Now it's live. Nothing's happening. Luke Williams just subscribed. Now, see, all these subscriptions taking place right now won't show up on my channel because YouTube is shadow banning. Never mind the worms. Worry about the bats. Rebellious Ruth is here. Hello. How are you, Rebellious Ruth? We're waiting for the SN9 ship to launch. That's what we're waiting for, folks. Still waiting. It was supposed to take off 7 minutes ago, and it hasn't done that. So we're still waiting. There's a clock up there. That's why I keep looking. Yep. I'm catching an early night. Okay, Rebellious Ruth. Well, thanks a lot. Dried Mopani worms taste like tree bark. I wouldn't disagree with that at all. Oof. I would not disagree with that at all. Anyway, so yeah, I have a live feed over here on my tablet, and there's nothing different. It looks just like that. Anyway, but still waiting, folks. What have I missed here in the chat? You guys are talking about Mopani worms. My grandmother was a spy for UK, but they put him with the Russians because he spoke the language. Okay, that's interesting. WNC support misses and me eating chicken strips watching this. Oh, okay. Well, WC and support. Well, I don't know what that means. Is that like Wilbur and Charlene and the family members? I hope you're enjoying your chicken strips. Tando Changela. SN10 doesn't have any Raptors installed or FAA clearance, so it cannot launch. Well, if only that were true. It can launch. The FAA has a granted clearance. And how is it that you know so much about SpaceX, FAA? Oh, SN10. SN10. Oh, gotcha. I'm sorry, Tondo. SN10. I thought I said SN9. Doesn't have Raptors. Yeah, but SN10 isn't launching. SN9 is launching. So it really isn't germane. SN10 is just standing there on the platform. It is not launching. Sorry, I misread that. Gosh, my eye. I've got this. The floater keeps coming from my eye. It's messing up my vision. Sorry about that. Tando Shangela. Where are you from? Pretty cool. Love that surname, man. Shangela. Shangela. That's awesome, man. That sounds very powerful as a surname. What does it mean? Patrick Colquhoun. Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back to you. And most people don't like or enjoy Rammstein when they understand the lyrics. I just don't like or understand, or when I hear the music, it doesn't do anything for me. Not a big fan. So just saying. And I'm just double checking. SpaceX has still not done their live feed. So anyway. People keep assuming that's about to launch, and it's not. So nitrogen cooling before launch. Well, it could be online optics. I'm not sure. Or they're venting. Blauwerk, Krieger, your pronunciations are spot on. For what? For German? For Afrikaans? No, my Afrikaans pronunciations are not so great on. Or are you talking about the surname? Surname. Boom, salute indeed. What is SpaceX sticking up in the sky or beyond the sky? Robert Zede, today is supposed to be the launch of the SN9 Starship, which is the vehicle you see on the right-hand side there. Wait. No, it's on the left-hand side now. This is the back side of it. Sorry, it's the left-hand side. I'm all confused. They've got it turned around now. Or is that the right hand? No, it's the one on the right. It's the one on the right. Are they going to abort? No, there's been no mention of an abort. Remember, Anel, it may be nighttime for you guys in Namibia and South Africa, but it is only 2 o'clock in the afternoon in South Texas. And the conditions are perfect. It's 69. Temperature's gone up 69 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 degrees Celsius. Winds have picked up to 15 knots now. That might become a problem, but I don't think 15 knots is an issue for a Starship, but we shall see. I mean, the Enterprise never has trouble with 15 knots. Just blows right through it. Warp Factor 6, Scotty. Looks really cold in the video you did at Logan Park. Your place must have great heating system for you to be sitting in a short sleeve rugby jersey. No, I'm a Viking, man. I'm wearing shorts too. Also wearing shorts, not just I'm wearing shorts too. Anyway, yeah. So no, it's not great heating system. Actually, it felt too warm in here earlier as I was shoveling snow, but now the snow's gone. So you guys still talking about those worms, man. What's with the worms? Haha, 69. What's 69? Is that 69 likes or something? What's going on there? What's going on there? Oh, that ain't right. What happened there? Whoa! Look, it's Chris. Hey, Chris. What happened there? That's strange. There we go. Yeah, you're right, Tian. If it's constant, it's not a problem. It's if it's gust because it'll come and cause a problem. But yeah, I don't think 15 knots is going to be a problem. Can I post your Kung Fu fighting clip you did last night? I love it. Well, Freddie, did you download it? Because it's already been deleted. So if you didn't download it, the problem is if you want to play copyright with whatever platform you want to do it on, that's on you. I really can't say, but you have my permission. Just tell me where. And I'm sorry for the cultural thing, but I can't. What is it? Still don't like the dried monkeys in the markets. Don't like. Yeah, no, I think that eating other primates is a pretty sick thing. Just my thoughts on it. Erica likes the jersey. Yeah, it's a Namibia jersey, folks. It's a Velvich's jersey from the 2019 Rugby World Cup. This is the one that actually has the Namibian flag right there on it. This is a pretty cool flag. I like that. Love their flag. And the Velviches, of course, are located right there. Awesome stuff. Anyway, which is always interesting. That's not a Velvicha. That's a bird. The Velvicha is a plant. It's a plant that survives for millennia. It's pretty cool. Online Optics says, you say you have a floater in your eye. How long have you had that? Does it come and go? Always in the same place? Online Optics, if you're trying to diagnose me, that's not going to help. Thank you for the offer. But no, my retina tore twice in the span of about 2 months. I was walking on the street and a few years ago after an event with my students at the War College, going to the post office, and suddenly it looked like there was coal soot everywhere. I'm like, oh, good Lord. Like it was falling on me. I'm like, wait a second. Okay, that's fine. What the heck? And my eye, the retina tore. The fluid in your eye loses viscosity. One of those things they need to give you a handbook after you turn 50 that they should tell you that this stops working, that stops working, that stops working. You need to know these things. No one ever told me that a significant percentage of adults, most adults after 50, their viscosity in their eye begins to, you lose it. And so it winds up clumping and it'll go along the back of your retina and it'll catch on it and it'll just tear it. Whoops, there we go. So it tore my retina, and when it did, it tore it along a vein inside the eye and it got to the end, and when it hit the vein, it tore the end of it open and it shot blood in my eye. So I got the floaters that most people get from that situation. Now, they fixed it with laser surgery, which was painful. Not that painful, but it was painful. They fixed it with laser surgery and repaired the tear, but the blood stayed in the eye. Your eye is an enclosed system, so your immune system doesn't enter your eye. It's all by itself, so it takes a long time. So that floater's never gone away. It's kind of weird, but it looks like a Portuguese man of war, if you know what that is. Very frustrating. Whoop, we got some venting going on there. What's this? There's some venting.
Kilometers, yeah, 10 seems small.
200 meters or something like that, like 100 meters. So look at that. That is a very prevalent tri-vent now.
Yep.
Oh, notice the flaps have been turned. Looking good. Looking good.
Deep breaths.
Yeah, deep breaths. Will we get a launch?
You got to sort of get the excitement out of your system. I am frantically clicking on things over here.
Anyway, let's try to refresh that. I'm refreshed over here. It looks the same. Anyway, folks, yeah, so the retina tore, and so long story short, but a couple months later, I kept going back for follow-ups, and then my last follow-up, it had torn again. So I got a second laser eye surgery. The floater comes and goes, and when it comes, it obstructs my vision. It makes it fuzzy up close. It never affects it off at a distance because my eye doesn't focus near. When it focuses near, it catches that thing, but when the computer in my brain is focusing on a distance, it's not a problem. So it's very frustrating. Tomorrow's with the rocket they're trying to launch. Yo, Chris, how tall are you, man? You seem tall in your videos outside. I am 6 feet 2 inches tall. My aunt has a problem with her eye, and she only sees black and white now. That sucks, Cameron. It really sucks. Shame. Bushmeat. Yeah, no. You can buy bushmeat in D.C. illegally. It's disgusting. Portuguese man of war. There you go. Right. And Al says, just heard Will Smith is in Namibia. Yeah, it's true. And Al, why aren't you watching my streams? I announced that over a week ago. I said Will Smith is coming there to film a documentary. Absolutely. It looks like a lot of celebrities coming to me these days. No, he's doing this National Geographic program that he's narrating. He's appearing in. Yeah, no, that's old news. Not that he's there. It's old news that he was going. I notified people that over a week ago. Yeah, these are interesting looking rockets. They're pretty wild looking. But what you see there is the SN9, which is venting right now. And then the SN10, which is to the left, that's the next one. And in between is a booster that's going to be tested later on, not part of today's launch. So there you go. No, there's no detachment taking place here. Bosch Zebra loves it. Yeah, this is a cool jersey. I really love it. I like the red under the arm and this nice here. These were really hard to get. I think some of you know the story I told about how I got this jersey. I was in Japan and I was at Toyota City, and I went there and I was going to go to the fan zone, but it was oppressively hot and I walked right past it because the signage was bad and not realize I crossed over the bridge. And by then I was tired of walking from downtown. And I went up to the front and somebody said, no, it's back there. I just came from there, but it's really hot now. I said, okay, fine. So I hung out for a bit and I looked over and I saw one of the Rugby World Cup stores there, and I saw these jerseys hanging up. I'm like, whoa. So I took a picture with this dude. We were hanging out there. We took a few pictures next to a car. And then I got in line, and it was like one of these, like queue was like this, like back and forth, back and forth. I stood in line for nearly an hour, and I watched as these Namibia jerseys, because they weren't available before the World Cup. Mizuno, which is a Japanese company right there, they're the ones that made them. They made them for the World Cup, and they weren't available in Namibia or anywhere until just before the game started. So I couldn't find them anywhere. So I stood in line because I'm a huge Namibia fan and a Velviches fan. So I stood there, and as I snaked my way through the line just to get this jersey, I watched them all disappear. Literally, the person in front of me went, and as that person went up to one, there were like 6 different tills. And while they're up the till, I looked up, and then the person that was directly in front of me straight ahead pointed, and it was like the last jersey. And I'm like, oh, God, the last one. I waited an hour for nothing. And, of course, they're Japanese, so they're not particularly tall. So they hand it to them. They're like, oh, no, too big. So they hand it back, and then they left instead of lingering. Thank goodness. I went over, I said, grab that jersey. And it was an extra large. Thank goodness. So there you go. That's how I got my Namibia jersey. Not easy. Dylan Combrick says, amen to what? Just under 4 hours before the launch window closes, 11 p.m. That sounds about right, Keith. 4 hours from now would be 7:30, 6:30. It would be getting dark. Yeah, already dark. So I think it'll be less than 4 hours. Dylan Combrick, you're there. Salami Gaming. How did you find us, Salami Gaming? I don't recognize you from before. Welcome to the stream. And welcome to everybody tuning in. If you were looking for Night Owls, this has become Night Owls. It's morphed into it. We were hoping to show the launch of the SpaceX SN9 Starship, which is the right there on the screen, along with SN10. SN10 is not launched today. It's the one on the right. You see the venting coming out near the tail fins on that thing. Perhaps we are going to have a launch. We're not sure. Expected to launch shortly from the Boca Chica facility there in South Texas. That's what we're here for. But anyway, so welcome to Night Owls if you're tuning in for that. If you've got any questions unrelated to the launch, go ahead and ask them now. Victoria's been asking some questions. I've answered those. So I'll entertain questions not about the launch right now if anybody has any questions that they want to ask of me. Anyway, back to where I was at. Let me see how my resources are doing now that we've made those changes. No, they're still pretty high. Anyway, Johannes van Billion says, good afternoon, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to you. Blauwerk Krieger says, Zeka Watergebied, 1 meter onder. Oh, that's Dutch. That's not Afrikaans. That's Dutch. I brought Salami Gaming. Well, thank you, Jan Hendrik Sneeman. I appreciate you bringing folks. We'd love to have a large audience. Thank you so much for it. I hope you find the content interesting. Vutsarka says, do you want to show the SN8 blowing? I could do that. I'll have to find that video. Where was that at, man? I did that a while ago. When was that? Yeah. Yeah, waiting for a cigar to launch. Maybe that's what I should have done. I should have had that queued up just in case, but I never did. Let me see if I can't find that. Hang on a second here. I want videos. There we go. So I'm just trying to find it real quick. SN. Let's see if that comes up. There it is. There it is. It's here. So come on. Come on. Where's it at? I hate this. It doesn't do that. Windows and their freaking way they changed up. There it is. Okay. So this is, okay, cool. Let me do this here. I'm going to do this a different way. I was going to try it and bring it right into the stream, but I'm going to do it a different way. The capsule. Oh, here we go. Okay, here we go, folks. This is the previous flight, okay? This is the SN8 mission, so I'm going to show that right now and talk about it. This is, I narrated and watched this. Here we go. The capsule. Oh, here we go. Did they refire? She's coming back down, folks. She's coming back down. There you go. This was live when it occurred a few months ago. There you go. Look at her. She's coming back down. This is the SN8, which no longer exists, and you'll see why in a moment. Rotating. Wow, awesome. This does look like something out of Buck Rogers, doesn't it? Flip maneuver, says Bosch Zebra. Yep. Proof of concept here, ladies and gentlemen. This is a prototype. This would be the eventual vehicle intended to take astronauts back to the moon and to Mars. And today, NASA announced 18 astronauts, part of its Artemis program, to go back to the moon. Yep. Very politically woke, correct astronaut. Mostly women, people of color. It looks like a UFO. Doesn't even look real, does it? Looks like a cigar. This is pretty cool. History in the making, ladies and gentlemen. History in the making. Now it's a plane. Yeah, it does look like a plane. It looks like a cigar flying through space. Exactly. That's what it looked like. There you go, folks. 5 minutes and 48 seconds into the launch. Very peaceful descent there. F.H. Waylu says they're the ones destroying the ozone. 3 minutes to launch? Where are you getting that from? Yeah, actually, aviation does play a major role in that, as do transport ships. Cargo ships are the worst when it comes to ozone depletion and carbon dioxide emissions. Yeah, let's hope those engines relight for transit to landing. That's exactly right. Picture on the left looks like a cartoon bullet. It does. It does. It looks like something out of Buck Rogers. That's what I'm talking about, folks. Oh, just descending in the cloud cover there. Look at that. Look at that. You can see venting on the side. Look at that. Where are you getting this T-minus? There's no the engine's firing. They're refiring. There you go. Yes. Yes. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Successful. All 3 engines successfully refired. She's landing. Oh, she blew up. Oh. Folks. Yes, Keith. I hear you guys keep saying that, but okay, I'm going to stop it there. That was the video from last fall when they launched. Okay, so here we go.
Watched for the tri-vents to pause, and then a big plume come out, and watch that plume. It's going to get sucked down to the ground if those engines ignite.
Indeed, and you can see the liquid oxygen ring on the header tank. Under 50 seconds and counting now.
Yep.
50 seconds and counting now.
So here is to a good flight, SN9.
30
Let's
seconds.
see what you do.
30 seconds.
My heart is about to beat out of my chest right now.
My gosh, mine too.
We need to rig up a little heart rate monitor that displays on the screen.
Here comes the
Right.
engine chill purging that we see sometimes that are sputtering.
Yep.
Which means we are just seconds away from launch of Starship SN9. About 10 seconds.
We have had a hold. We have had a hold.
Ah, we got a hold.
And we are counting again. 10 seconds and counting.
Ha. T-minus 10 and holding.
There's the big
ignition.
And lift off.
There it goes.
Lift it off.
There it goes. Well done.
Wow.
Wow, look at that.
Well, these guys having an orgasm.
Oh, go, baby, go.
SpaceX never came up. Very disappointing.
Sounds good to hit the camera here.
Looking beautiful, folks. Look at it climbing in altitude there. The SN9 mission right there, up to 10-kilometer high altitude test. Thank you for your patience. We've hung around now for an hour and a half waiting for this thing to take off, and there it is, folks. There it is, headed into high altitude, 10 kilometers. SpaceX, Elon Musk, Space Exploration Company. Brilliant. Great sound effects this time. Light that candle. Look at that sun glistening off that fin. That is gorgeous fun. You're right, Lars Salas. It looks a lot better than SN8. Whoops. What's going on with that picture? Get a little dodgy there. No, Cameron, there's no one in. This is unmanned. The last one crashed on impact, so this is still prototype days, folks. This is a prototype. Okay, we don't really need to see a cop car on the ground. Let's stick to space.
So 90 seconds into play, everything's still nominal according to
Very disappointed SpaceX. They never had the stream. No, they've not covered it at all. I went to the website. Whoops, what's going on there? Is that stuff freezing as it comes up? Oops, gotta get that. Hang on. That thing's moving so fast, it's right out of the camera. I'm having a hard time keeping track of it.
All right, and we are over.
No, Cameron, there's no. This is unmanned. They've only done one space flight with man on this rocket so far. Two, excuse me, two, not one, two.
The next major event we can expect is the shutdown of the next Raptor.
All right, should be close to the 10 kilometers in altitude now. I wish that SpaceX actually had their live stream up because.
Look at this.
That audio is absolutely annihilating anything we're trying to say. I'm going to back it off just a little bit here.
That's the 8th,
Right.
the 9.
We are approaching the 3-minute mark into the flight.
About 3 minutes into flight right now.
According to callouts. Again, the next thing we should see is the shutdown of that second engine as expected, leaving just one of them on to continue the final push up to the 10-kilometer apogee.
And there it is.
Highest point. There it is.
All right, second engine is shut down. Only one engine remaining now, taking it up to its apogee point.
Mary's camera there. That's absolutely fantastic.
That rocket is relying on, or that craft is relying on a single
Yep.
rocket right now. One Raptor rocket is still lifting it away from the Earth's
And
atmosphere.
the team confirms that was
Gravity, I
a
should say.
normal and on-time and nominal engine shutdown.
Don't know the speed, Koketsu.
Right now,
We don't have the
making
telemetry
final
data here.
ascent up to that
SpaceX has never
10-kilometer
streamed it. This is
apogee.
a third party that's
When that
streaming
final
it.
engine shuts down, it will reorient for the descent.
Which should be coming up momentarily.
Yeah, I noticed that on Online Optics. Last time we had
The
cameras on the
amazing thing
inside.
is that it's still on the robot. That is on the robot at the village, and Michael is basically looking straight up the back end of SN9. Look at that.
Great tracking there, Michael.
Key
And
buttons.
again,
It wasn't
so we will
SN9. It
see
was
a-
the
so we
Falcon
will
9
see a
Crew Dragon
reorientation.
launch. They've done it twice.
Vehicle is at 10
Two persons the
kilometers.
first time, 4 persons the second time, 2 manned space flights to the
Mary's
International
got
Space
so
Station.
many different
I've covered
angles
both
on
of them.
this.
One was in
So
May of
they
last
are
year, and the other was
hovering
in
in the
September
air
or
right now,
October, something like
holding
that.
altitude
You can
at
find
10
those streams under my
kilometers.
space
And here they go preparing
segment.
for the handover on the propellant tank.
This is where it's going to switch tanks here shortly, and
there
that
we
last
go, the
Raptor engine will
reorientation
shut
to
down. Here we
the
go.
belly flop.
And we
what
go.
happens.
And here we go.
Here we go.
Oh, no way.
Coming back.
It's like a skating trick. What's going on here?
All right, it's coming back, ladies and gentlemen. We're on the way back
Oh,
down
my
now.
Lord,
Successful
here it
maneuver.
comes.
And the SN9 is returning Earth. Let's keep our fingers
this is
crossed
every
there.
angle right
Futsarko,
here.
are you changing the odds
Now
now
we're
for a
sure.
successful landing?
South Padre,
Or are
see
you
the flag
sticking to what you
actuated.
said before? Last time you said
Yes,
65%.
indeed. Now remember, this is
Whoops.
subsonic, and this is the belly flop descent under aerodynamic control of the aero surfaces. Look at that shot.
That's awesome.
Insane.
Look at that shot. Starship appears to be very stable in its belly
Yep,
flop.
looks good.
Looking great.
I mean, Mary is doing an absolutely.
Oh my gosh!
This is awesome, folks. Beautiful coverage of this.
stable.
Fantastic
This is-
cinematography. Well done to these folks. Excellent
Alright, now
job.
this is the part where SN8 reached successfully as well. The next step will be that landing flip maneuver. hoping
Yeah,
for
that's
a
the one that
better
didn't go
outcome
so
on
well
SN9's
last time, the
flight.
landing flip maneuver.
Again, this is
Flipped
still
fine,
a
but it
test
didn't
flight,
hit
but
very
hoping
fine.
for some extra progress on this flight.
Fingers crossed, ladies and
It looks
gentlemen.
like it's
And
coming
remember,
down
too,
on
they-
top of the robot. Look at
And
this.
remember, oh yeah, and a very, very.
It does
stable-
suck that
this
there's
is
no
wonderful.
cameras on
Again,
the inside
test
this
flight,
time, or they're
SpaceX
hiding it
changed
from
the
us.
thing, so
That was really cool the last time.
let's see what this landing looks like. 2-engine reignition and a flip and burn.
Let's catch it.
Yes.
2-engine reignition
It's
and flip
pointed
and burn.
Not exactly right at Mary, but Mary can see all three Raptors.
Be nice if they
from
could
the
keep a
bottom.
camera
All
focus
right,
instead
there
of
we go.
crouching into my
We should be
my
getting
image.
close here now.
That's amazing. Look at the ice.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
There we
There we
go.
go. There we go.
And the flip looks like they lost a piece there.
Oh no! No! Oh, it's gone!
Oh.
Disaster! Oh, that was less impressive
Wow.
than the last one.
Oh,
Whoa! Whoa!
Not having great control, but trying to get the camera pointed there.
Oh!
I imagine you weren't having great control.
That was not good.
I know. I was watching.
I think I left the
SpaceX
frame-
doesn't have any footage, Kyle. I went to SpaceX. There's
Alright.
nothing there.
And
Their page
here,
is not loading.
You're good to go, right? Your robot's good to go, Michael?
Yep.
Okay, so one of the
Look at that, there's
Raptors.
debris falling on the left.
There is debris falling down.
Yeah.
Past us.
Past SN10, yeah. So the first Raptor ignited successfully. The second Raptor did not start successfully. That I just rewound part of the feed, and you can clearly see the first one come up. Beautiful shock diamonds. The
Quite a
second
bit.
one ignites and it's haywire,
Over-rotated,
and the
yeah.
vehicle's on its and the vehicle's upside down.
It does
At
go
that
to
point.
the beach.
That
Got
did
it,
not
on
go
it.
well.
Yep.
Now you know why it
There's a
wasn't manned.
fire out there.
We still have more zoom. So we'll
Wow.
take a look at that, but
That was
Yeah.
not good.
it looks like SN10 is okay from what I can see from here.
That
I'll have to
debris
take the
flew
other
over to
angles.
SN10, the other
but
ship
it
there.
doesn't
So who
look
knows
like
what's going on there,
There's
folks.
too much damage
Wow.
at the launch site, so
That
overall,
was something
not a
else.
bad result.
Wow.
Yeah.
not
No,
as good
very-
of a-
very-
A third time. I think
there
the
are
second time was
still
more
been
successful than
progress
this.
that based on SN8, but
Look for a
far
drop
from
in
a
space.
worst-case
You want to
scenario
short
yourself.
SpaceX stock instead of
Well,
silver?
and to
Maybe
be
now's the
fair,
time, huh?
It didn't.
Wow.
I mean, it didn't look like the engines had the same issue they did last time. So
Yeah.
it will be interesting to see what they say.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow,
what
wow.
They say what was the issue.
That was,
One did perfectly. It was
disappointing.
awesome. Like
Disappointing. Things were going so well. So well, folks.
Again,
That was
y'all, if you're wondering
disappointing, to
what
say the
just
least.
happened, we saw the flight.
Oh, my
of
goodness.
SN9.
Rocket go boom.
There on pad B.
Rocket
Flew
go
up to
boom.
10 kilometers, did a fantastic belly flop maneuver.
Root
Nice and
Sarkle says
stable
that
all
was
the way
fantastic.
down.
Yeah, I think that's why we watch it, just to see if it blows up. But this time there's a lot more on the pad. They've got the SN10 and the debris from the SN9 exploding when it hit flew over towards SN10. It was crazy, folks. Wow.
And crashed into the
Yeah, Keith, they didn't drop it on SN10, but it may be damaged. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see.
So
Yeah.
it is
Yeah, they,
down.
Cameron, it
There
seems
were
to
no
me like they
people
do
around. There were
rotate a
no
little bit
people riding
late.
the rocket. A lot of people are like,
$40
"Oh,
million.
is there anybody on that?"
Okay.
Absolutely not. These experimental rockets, there are no people riding these rockets. They're all computer controlled.
Marcella says that's why they don't
and
advertise
it
and put some
crashes
television
one
because
of
it
many
crashes.
possible
Yeah, but this makes for
results
entertaining
of the test
viewing and
program,
television,
right?
folks.
yes,
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, it is, and that's why I say it'll be interesting to see what the
Pretty
issue was
cool,
with this
huh?
one. Visually.
So what did they learn from this? That's what's important. Yeah, I saw you say that, Victoria. I'm sure they learned quite a bit. But from my point of view, at least from a visual standpoint, the SN9 landing was worse than the SN8 landing. The SN8 nearly successfully landed properly on the ground, only to just kind of lose its angle at the very last second and then crumple and crush and blow up. This thing here never quite got right and just obliterated on landing.
Yep. So yeah, it looks like it's
NASA
flip
need
and
another
burn,
7
something in
astronauts.
the flip
That's
and burn.
dark, Ants. That's very dark. ready for round two.
time
I
frame
see
that
there's
got
another
them,
one
not
lined up. Yeah, Pete
necessarily
Buttons, that's
actual
SN10.
footage, but,
And something
we'll
tells
have
me
to
the
see,
launch of
'cause
SN10
maybe
is
it
going to be
was just
delayed a little
after
bit
the
longer
evolution,
now, courtesy of
right?
that.
And, you know, we'll have to wait and see, because remember too, it's not just
Once it turns its ass,
experimental
you
vehicle,
got little to
the
no
engines are
steering.
new.
Yeah, that's a
These are
problem. That's why I
brand
wonder
new,
why they wait so
brand
long.
new
If it's a
engines,
gravity
and
issue,
Thomas, help me out
before they
there.
get so close to
Full
Earth.
flow combustion
Yeah,
cycle
it's
engines?
quite a show for
There you
40
go.
million.
Ooh,
It's
yay,
better
very
than a James
good.
Cameron movie for 200 million, right?
Yeah, so we'll wait and see.
Boom Shakalaka says only one engine ignited, the
like
second
I
one didn't
said,
ignite. It
to
seems
be
that's
very
correct.
clear,
On the
as we've
landing,
said
it looks like only one of the
multiple
engines
times
lit.
again.
Yep.
Or sorry,
Yep,
as we've
yep.
said multiple times, and it is worth repeating.
SN8 was too fast.
You know,
Agreed, Arsalis,
these
but this was
types of
out of
things
control.
are
So maybe a
successes in the
parachute.
commercial industry, because they can reveal problems.
They don't
with
care
their
about the money. They
vehicle,
want to
because
know
the
what to learn from the
commercial
issue.
side
That's
can
true.
afford to test like this.
SN10 is okay.
Right.
Let's hope SN10 is okay,
Whereas
folks, because
government agencies,
it looked like
when you're
debris
talking about
flew.
taxpayer money,
What I'll do is
so,
after I go offline, I'll
you know,
download the
it
video,
is
I'll
nice
clip
to see
that
it's-
portion,
it's
and we'll
not
play that
necessarily a
portion
failure. You just gotta
about
figure
where
out
that
what it
happened.
was
Because
and
wow,
pick up and move on.
Yeah.
'Cause you're
Kobit says,
developing it, yeah.
can someone tell SpaceX to send Cyril? Yeah.
I
That's a plan.
was not able to show it, but I am pulling.
So they're not
footage
ready
off
for a
the
manned
robot,
landing. No, not yet, folks. Not yet.
and it was an absolute
NASCAR hoping for a crash. Well, that's why people watch it, folks. They watch it hoping for a crash. Well, we got 2 crashes out of 2 of these flights.
And rolling it into a summary.
By the way, did
video,
anyone ever watch
all the different
SN
angles.
1,
I
2,
had
3,
5
4,
different
5,
angles
6,
that I
or
was
7
able to see, and
take
I was
off?
just
No.
choosing them,
Only we got to
one at a
SN8.
time based on what was
So they're
going
rotating
on,
too
but
late.
we
I'm not
recorded
sure if that's the
all of
issue.
those. We had the long range camera way out here, and this was set to capture the entire maneuver, and it looked absolutely fantastic. So, okay, I'll admit really quickly, I was very confused. The launch happened, and I'm looking over here, and then I'm changing to this camera, then I'm looking, then I'm checking the status and looking at the
And it's back.
And I glanced over at one of the cameras, and I'm like, oh no, the feed is frozen. Starship.
All right, let me turn those guys off in the background there. It looks like that's going to sit there for a while, so I'll make myself a little bit larger here. Yeah, folks, there you go. While they get a better angle, I'll shrink it down. Yeah, so that was a bit disappointing. Who was it? Vutsarko that said it was a 75% chance of a successful landing? I don't think so, brother. I don't think so. There's SN10, and there's the rubble from, or the debris from SN9. They're not rotating too late. If they rotate early, they miss the pad. Yeah, no, I don't know, Tian, what the answer is. The second engine did not ignite, so cannot level out. They rotate late so that they can reach terminal velocity and do a full burn so that they land with as little fuel as possible. Bob, I think you're spot on, and that's where Tian was headed with that too. Beth is just cock-protting. I got you. SN1234 exploded. No, my point is that nobody was watching those things. Looked more like there wasn't enough power in the rotation. Well, because they didn't have that other engine there. It's pretty impressive. Good night, Leah. But it's a pretty impressive even concept. Even try this thing, folks. Think about what they're doing. Precision engineering. Yep. How does one accurately predict the unexpected? We shall see. But that was, I see the smoke still out there. That was something else, folks. That was pretty interesting. But there you see SN10. And we'll look forward to the SN10 launch whenever that might be. And see what they've learned from this. I don't want to say disaster. It's not a disaster. These are prototypes. This is a test. And honestly, did we honestly expect it was going to survive? I mean, I gave it a 60%. I thought that was generous. Futsarko was pretty confident, said 75%. But it looks like neither one of us are right. The answer was 0%. And you see the smoking rubble, the debris from SN9. Well, that's how odds work. The chance of success is now 0. It's true. And you still see the smoke rising in the distance there. Since when are explosions disappointment? Graham, they're not a disappointment whatsoever. It makes for good YouTube videos, and I'll be making a video of that explosion. Although I would say that my comment this time wasn't nearly as good as the last time, because the last time I could see the ground. This time you couldn't see the ground. It's like a microsecond because the camera angle wasn't particularly good. Again, I don't know how Kyle said he's watching this on SpaceX. SpaceX has no feed. I've looked repeatedly, so I would prefer the SpaceX feed. I would have shown it if it was available, but it wasn't there. They learned to put fuel in the second engine. Okay. Yeah, I would hope they learned that. Boy, that smoke is not going away. Something's still burning there. Well, the good news, folks, is that's a question we had at the beginning. They had a minimal amount of fuel on the aircraft because you obviously don't want to refuel it for just a 10-kilometer flight, and you don't want it to be a big ball of flame when it hits. So obviously the smoke and the fire is not nearly as bad as it could be because it was mostly fuel expended. We saw this before, and people said a lot of things before the first launch. These people are looking at what they can learn from this test. Exactly right. SN10 needs panel beat. Well said, Eric. I think SN10 will need a panel beater. Any panel beaters available to work near Padre Island in in South Texas? Because SN10 looks like it took a licking from the debris. Surprised it made it back to the pad on one engine. Yeah, actually, good point there, Sky Greg T. Yeah, it was pretty impressive. Well, it didn't really make it on the pad unless you consider a sideways landing. It needs a bit lighter. Serious there. Any idea what the test launch cost? About $40 million is what somebody said, and I think that's accurate. That is accurate. But the $40 million is the cost of the entire project, not just the capsule and the vessel itself. So there was a SpaceX feed, but only for a little while as I watched it on their stream myself. I don't know how you got it, Franz. I sat here repeatedly throughout the whole thing and tried to load it. I don't know what their problem was. Usually they come up with their flight center and they have the control panel. You have all of the telemetry data, which is awesome, and their camera angles are great. And I would prefer to have used that, but it wasn't available. Imagine your lifeless body in a Tesla traveling through space. Well, there's a dummy up there doing that right now. Good night, Anal. Thanks for tuning in. This was fun, but now it's bedtime. It is a bit late for folks in South Africa, and it is 3:40 here, folks. I'm sure it would land properly if they put Juju in it. That's good. Woodpeckers from space. Anyway, everyday astronaut, good footage. Cool beans. AEAGF. I don't know what that is. Upload a 13-minute video of their feed now. Okay, well, that's great, but why wasn't their feed loaded on their website? You know, that's very frustrating. I'll go check out their feed. SpaceX feed was definitely live. Watched it there. Must say they killed feed pretty quickly after the boom. They can always sell fireworks. Yeah, but again, Mark, why did they not make it available? I'm on the internet. I went to SpaceX, and there's a link. And I'll show you. And this is exactly what you get. This is very frustrating. Very frustrating for SpaceX, okay? Here you go. SpaceX high-altitude test flight. Watch it. SpaceX. That's SpaceX. That's not somebody else. Watch it. Upcoming test. There's no test there. In the past, when I've gone to that, it takes you to the link, but only when they go live. So I don't know what SpaceX's deal is. Maybe it was blacked out here in the U.S. You could watch it overseas. Lucky they did not take out SN10. No, listen, Online Optics. I think there might be some damage to SN10. We don't know. A lot of that debris blew in the direction of SN10. You can see it there. So we'll see. On Spaced, they got feedback on the flap control. Okay. Keep the border jumpers. Yeah, this is right next to the border. So where's the wall? I'll tell you what, if illegal aliens are trying to cross the border in the vicinity of the Boca Chica test facility, then they probably see this explosion and go, never mind, I'm going back to Guatemala. What are your thoughts on private companies getting together with NASA to do? I think it's good. Yeah, I do think it's a good idea, Victoria. It's not a problem. This is something the Obama administration wanted to push through. I have no problem with it. But relying entirely on private sector is not the only answer. But yeah, it's fine. We used to have this show back in the 80s. I forget the name of it, in which these guys built a spaceship just out of parts. Private space travel. It was pretty cool. I forget what it's called. This has highlighted the necessity for the ability to land on one engine. Good point, Madman. You need to have a backup there if it's even possible. And I mean, with the law of physics, you can even do it with one engine. So there you go. Anyway. Oh, Kyle says it was on their YouTube feed. Well, their YouTube feed wasn't available when I tried to load it an hour before the stream. That's pretty weak. Their YouTube link on their SpaceX channel normally takes you to their YouTube feed, or it takes you directly to the website. This time it took you to the SN8 launch, which is frustrating. How long to wait for the next test? I don't know, Freddie. I think it's going to be a consequence of what happened today. They're going to have to adjust. They're finished up. No further tests today. Yep, that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and close that up now. We don't need to see any more smoke rolling along there. Okay, fit to screen. There we go, folks. Anyway, let me get rid of this now. Yep. Very frustrating. Anyway, so I will take a video and I'll play that part and give a little analysis, and we'll do that little clip of the thing blowing up. So that'll be pretty cool. Yeah. Anyway, so how are we doing over here? We got 92 people currently watching the stream. Is that right? Wow, we dropped off a lot of people very quickly there. It is almost 11 o'clock in South Africa. We're looking at about an hour and 45 minutes here on this stream, folks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this one here shortly, and then I'm going to delete the Night Owls edition. We won't do that tonight because this covered that. Perhaps the lack of feed caught their landing pilot on the hop, went for Starbucks. They want you to do the Trump dance to get access to the real SpaceX cameras. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was. What's going on here? What? This is way behind here. Let me get this live. It should speed up now. Let me check out my resources now. That resource is still pretty high there. Okay, good. Right. I found it strange that they did not have any parachutes to increase drag once they did the flip. Would make landing on one engine a bit easier. I'm not sure how that would work, if it would work. Okay, interesting. And we built a fence between South Africa and Zimbabwe. No, you didn't build. You built a fence, not a wall. A fence is not a wall, Victoria. And the reason that your fence along the border with Zimbabwe is a total disaster because it was piss poor, it was poor quality, and it wasn't watched. You can't build a wall and leave it unattended. Hadrian's Wall worked for centuries. Why? Because the Roman legions occupied the forts, and they could see between the forts, and they manned it so nobody could get across the wall. It worked. The Great Wall of China worked for a millennium. It was fantastic. It kept the Golden Horde out, but eventually they found a way to overcome it. Walls do work. Just ask the Democrats putting up a wall, a fence around the Capitol building so that we can no longer see our Capitol. They do work. They absolutely work. Anyway, so yeah, let me get rid of this here. Come on. Come on. What's going on there? Oh, my goodness. My freaking tablet's locked up on me there. Anyway, SpaceX was saying good data, but need to work on landing and only second time flying with this setup. That's true, Franz. That's absolutely true. And I think that that's an important consideration to keep in mind here, folks. 141 likes. We got up to 160 some people watching this program. Can we smash it up there? 98 people currently watching. Come on, push it up to 150 at least. Erica says, yes, thanks, Chris. We prefer watching the feed through your channel. And I apologize that I didn't have the SpaceX feed, but they let me down. Next time, I'll try to remember to always keep the YouTube. By the time this thing goes up, next time I will have my new machine. I won't have to worry about having multiple browser tabs and feeds open because it should work fine. Plus, I'm also going to go to the Xfinity store and inquire about turning in my ancient router and getting a gig router, the new ones. A fence, dude. A fence. What do you mean a fence, dude? What fence? The South African infantry keeps typically as many as 7 infantry companies patrolling their border with Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and Swaziland. When they're not patrolling, those fences are not guarded, and so people overcome them very easily. A wall. SpaceX had great below shots before the crash. Okay, we'll have to check those out. That would depend on the size of the chute and whether the pilot chute is a drag chute or a poop chute. A pop chute. Okay, he said poop shoot. Thanks for the coverage, says Stephen. Okay, yeah, you're most welcome, folks. You're most welcome. Chris just swore, must be snowing. I doubt it's... What did I say? What did I swear about? Joe Biden, Green Energy Stream from Texas Live, have only 30 viewers. Are you serious? Are you serious, Jaco Bester? Joe Biden has a Green Energy Stream, Texas Live, 30 viewers. There were 125,000 people watching that stream that I was on. I don't know what the ultimate number was, but 125,000 when I turned it on after people sat there for hours and couldn't get to it. Always bring coverage, Chris, on the rocket launch. Thanks. Reed, dude, I said offense, dude. Still love you. Okay, Victoria. Are you listening? Yeah, you're listening. Fences don't work. Walls work, though. Walls work. When are you getting a machine? My machine, I just checked on it earlier, is due to be shipped on the 8th of February. It's currently in the burn-in process where they've loaded the software. Now they're running it for a couple of days to make sure that everything works fine. And hopefully it'll be packaged and shipped out. It was due to be shipped on the 8th. I have a feeling I might get it sooner. Not going to hold my breath, but the beast is on its way. Just waiting for it to get here. Just saw your email and joined your WhatsApp group. Okay, cool, Cameron. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you joining there. Feel free to join the Telegram group as well. Well, yeah, I have more viewers than Biden. Look at that. You're down to 95 now, but we have more viewers than Biden. But guys, that's not much of an accomplishment. I mean, you could show cats, cat videos, and you have. We could do a whole program on Wilbur the Hemsbach. There you go, Wilbur, and we get more viewers than Joe Biden, no doubt about it. And Misfit says hydration check. Okay, yeah, I need a drink. Hang on. Anyway. There you go. Commentary is awesome. Well, thank you, Kyle. But usually we have the good feed. This feed was okay, but I'll tell you what, the feed, I showed you that, guys, that again. That was awesome. Let's just do that again. That was, I mean, I really enjoyed watching it. Let me get to where that thing blows up. That was so cool. That was December 9th, by the way. So, given that timeline, this might be as early as March or something like that. Let me just get to the point where it blows up. Oh, here we go. Did they refire? The engine's fire. Oh! You can see venting. All right, let's do this again, folks. This you got to see again. I love this. So here we go. That's not Firefox. I want the screen. There we go. Here you go. This is from December 9th. December 9th. Here we go. On the side, look at that. And there's the cameras
The
inside.
engine's
Fire. They're refiring. There you go. Yes. Yes. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Successful. All 3 engines successfully refired. She's landing. Oh, she blew up.
That's going to leave a mark.
Oh. Folks. She blew up. Did it explode? Let's see. Let's get clear in there. That was the December 9th explosion. I'll make a similar video for the other one, folks. We'll have to check that one out. That'll be cool. But yeah, that was December 9th. That was pretty cool. Variable vision, you missed it. Successful launch, successful flight, not so successful landing. Yeah, it landed, didn't quite even get to the same attitude that you got from SN8. It was kind of a belly flop, and it blew up, and some of the debris flew towards SN10. So yeah, you missed it, the explosion. I'll make a video of that shortly after I can download this, and I'll edit it, and we'll go from there. Boom. Yeah, that's the fireball from the one SN8, not from SN9. The SN9 wasn't as impressive, I don't think. Maybe because the camera's so far away. Yeah, don't worry about, okay, Cameron, don't do Telegram, that's fine. Alcohol is back. I heard many emergency vehicles, if you deprive people, they'll be excessive when free. Exactly right. Exactly right. People get carried away. That's why it's so stupid to block it in the first place. If anyone believes the Chinese Communist Party Biden won the elections, I got a London Bridge to sell them, says Hendo. Why not the old-fashioned plane type landing? That thing weighs a ton. How would they land that thing? It's huge. It's huge, like 90 meters or something like that. True, the acceleration would be increasing, especially since they moved from a belly flop to a vertical flop, less drag. Yep. Interesting. Anyway, folks, there you have it. 151 likes. We got there. We got to 151 likes. Cool beans. Thank you so much for that. We are at 100 viewers right now, almost 2 hours into it. Nicholas Featherston says the rocket launch still worked better than our government. Nicholas, it worked better than my government works. So, you know, what are you going to say? Mr. Savage, what's your knowledge of the Cape Town underworld? See another controversial figure was assassinated today. I know a little bit about it. I'm not a subject matter expert in Cape Town's underworld or the gangsters in South Africa. I know a little bit about it, but not a authoritative source when it comes to it. I should say that. Like I could claim to be for many other things, but not for that. Yeah, anyway, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Anyway, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Like I said, I will go back and I will edit the video and pull out that stream when it comes down for the landing, or just catch the whole piece. I'll make 2 videos. I'll make one from the launch to the crash, and I'll make one just at the crash, and we'll post those, and you guys can watch those. You guys can watch those things. That'll be pretty cool. Yeah, so Mr. Savage, who was it? Kyle's curious. Inquiring minds want to know. So we hit 163 people at the peak on this stream, and that's when the launch was happening. So pretty cool. Well, we kept over 100 now for, gosh, how long have we been at 100? We've been 100 since 2:40, 3:40, well over an hour. That's pretty cool. Thanks for the people. Leanne is out of here. This is Africa. Our animals go straight through anything. That's good. Well, we're all going to get out of here in just a minute, folks, as we come up on 2 hours. So anyway, there you go, folks. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Is that correct? Let me double check here. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Yes, tomorrow's Wednesday. You can catch me here on Chris Wyatt Africa tomorrow, and you can also catch me on Ronaldo Host program, unless he cancels, because I have another event. If he needs to cancel tomorrow, that's fine, because I have something else I have to participate in. Anyway, folks, yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this, plus the earlier stream. Tune in tomorrow for news and updates, and I'll let you know if it's still snowing. Talk about fires. Perth, Australia is battling a fire since Sunday. City is under smoke. Yeah, Perth. Yeah, I heard about that. That's usually in New South Wales you see a lot of fires, but in Perth, that's interesting. Alleged to be behind the Brian Weinstein hit. Oh, okay. Interesting. Thanks for sharing that, Boom Shakalaka. Anyway. All right, folks, I'm going to call it here. Thank you so much for your support. I'd say thanks to the new members. There are none. Thanks for the super chat. Oh, Dietrich Busha came in at the last second. I was about to say thanks for the super chats that never came in, but there's a super chat. Says, have a great day. Thanks a lot, Dietrich. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you for the super chat. It hasn't come up on the screen yet. I'll hold this off. We need one more like for what? To get to what? You talk about Myanmar. I did not talk about Myanmar. I did that previously yesterday. So I talked about the rather muted response from the U.S. government under Secretary of State Blinken and Unity Joe about what's happened there, the military overthrowing the government. And I did talk about that. So there's the super chat. Thank you very much for that, Dietrich Bush. I appreciate it. So you slipped that in. I was about to close the stream and say thanks for the no super chats, but there's a super chat. Lauren Hosford says hello or goodbye. And then Kyle, Rick Heron, and Lauren. I think Lauren's always here. She just doesn't jump in till she's too late. Are you telling me people didn't take President Ramaphosa's advice to heart and drink responsibly? Yeah. No, I don't think they did, Keith. I'm just saying. Anyway, that was fun. Thanks, guys. Look for the videos as I edit them so you get to see just the launch. It'll be a shorter one instead of sitting here for 2 hours. And then also look for the other video, which will be the just the crash. Crash and burn. That'll be kind of full. Anyway, thanks a lot. Kyle, thank you guys very much. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. There wasn't really any new word out of Myanmar. Yeah, that's why I'm waiting. I already covered it, so not much to talk about. I've talked about it previously. Anyway, folks, that's it. We're out of here. The crowd is dwindling quickly because it is now nearly 11 o'clock, 2300 in South Africa, just moments away. Lauren, you only just got here. What are you doing that you keep you so busy, Lauren? That's 2 streams today where you showed up late. Are you cheating on us? Are you watching another stream? Is Lauren cheating on our channel? Is she watching another stream? You tell me. Anyway, all right. Beautiful and amazing. We signed a petition to set them free. Okay, guys, that's it. Have a good night. See you tomorrow here on Chris Wyatt Africa. And no, I'm not going out and doing any live streams of snowfalls because I think the snow has stopped. Looks like the sun is out, but there is a lot of snow. What I will do is, I meant to do that. Maybe I'll show you tomorrow how much snow was accumulated in my car. It was quite impressive when I went out to get a new shovel. Karen Rademeyer says cheers. Cheers, Lars Solis. You guys, I'm out of here. God bless. Let's get, where are we at? There it is. Wrong thing. I'll get rid of that screen. Boom. There we go. That's what we want to do. Good night, everybody. And I will catch you guys right here tomorrow on Chris Wyatt Africa. Okay. Turn that off. It's still on. It shouldn't even be on. And here we go. Erica, that's not Marvin Gaye.